Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me well?
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you. Okay, one sec. Let me just
Likewise.
close everything. Just popped up. Okay, good to go. All right, cool. Well, let's just dive in. Let's get started. Okay, just so I know where you're coming from and how to approach this. Have you ever been on a call like this before? Have you worked with an agency before, or is this your first time? Just what's your kind of background there, so I know how to explain things to you.
Yeah, I've just had my own company for 17 years,
Okay.
and 10 years ago I was selling to all sorts of stores as a wholesaler all
Yep.
over the world.
Yeah.
And then I got really sick,
Yeah.
and then I had to back out and fire my whole crew and start all over. And then I ended up doing direct sales to the end customer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've been specializing in that for the past times until until recently actually. And now I wanted to think, okay, how can I rethink my whole concept and do much more scaling and volume selling? And
Yeah.
I wanted to go much more into getting funnels and trying to really step up the game.
Push direct to consumer, right on your Shopify site. Is it Shopify site you have?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Shopify.
Shopify. Okay, great.
And as my business is now, before I was selling to stores, so my designs were more made for like standard sizes, where the past 10 years I've been taking my standard size collections and then I've been doing them by measures on customers, and then we always getting money ahead and then in front, and then I've been selling it. But now I'm getting a little bit tired of that.
It takes
but
time, right? It takes more time.
It takes more time, but I mean, the money you make is much more as well as a small company. But I've been thinking about how to scale that concept.
Yeah.
That's what I'm working on. And then I, got the message from you, and I thought, oh, this is really interesting because I can see, because I have no staff as it is now. I only have people freelancing for me because I thought I'm not going to get into the situation again where I suddenly have a big team and then that's it,
happened to
letting
me.
you
Yeah,
go.
I know. Yeah, yes. I'll tell you. Yeah, I've had the same thing. Yeah.
No, so I was thinking about how, and tech is not my strong side at all. I think it might have something to do with my age as well.
But I see you got all the cool stuff in the background. I don't know if it's called a mannequin, but like the thing. I don't know what it's called, but like you're into that zone, like into that field. I can tell, right?
Yeah.
So we're into the marketing side, so that's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if you saw the Olympics, but the Queen of Denmark, she's buying my clothes.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I have a lot of anchor people at television and actresses and so on in Denmark wearing my things,
Okay.
So I'm kind of, people regard me as a luxurious,
brand.
powerful brand, I think.
Okay, very cool. Okay. Before I even explain what we're going to do, I just got to know right away, like, to sell to direct to consumer would be driving traffic to your store, your Shopify store, and people would be buying there. Okay. Do you have inventory now that we can sell that doesn't need to be custom made?
Yeah.
You do? So there are products that we could sell right away, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. That was the big concern at the start based on what you told me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a lot here, but a lot of them are like, I don't have the full range of the sizes and so on, but there is a stock that you can sell from that are standard sizes.
Good. That's what I want.
Yeah. Because I always use my standard sizes as the base, and then people can come here and then I correct it, or I fit it on them.
Yep.
And if they're totally out of sync, then I can sew a new thing for them. But I'm thinking about, it would be nice to go away from that and only.
We would be. Yeah, we'd be completely away from that. We'd be driving traffic to your store. You'd be getting sales to the store. You would just fulfill the orders and ship them out.
Yes.
Right. No direct interaction with customers.
Yeah.
Right? Because we'll also most likely have to go across Europe, but we'll talk about everything, right? Because we want to cover a larger market. Okay, let me introduce us very quickly so you understand like where we're coming from, and then I'll take you through what the call is going to go like, and then we'll just dive in. Okay? So, so agency is called Boom Boom Creatives. I started last March. Okay, that was the very start. My thing is I just love growing businesses. Okay, so I was writing books for a decade from 2011 to like 2020-ish. I went to Harvard before that. I left after 2 years because I hated it. It was horrible. I'll tell you that story too a little bit later. But books, I had a publishing company. I was saying I had a publishing company. I was just writing the books myself, and they're like fiction. I had like 40 books under different pen names, all sorts of stuff. And
Yeah, I've been looking into that business as well, where you hire people to do, but it's a lot of work as well.
yeah,
You know,
now
in a different way.
to be honest, like now, like the reason I got out of it was one, I accomplished everything I really wanted in that field. Two, Amazon had an amazing organic discovery tool up to 2018, and that's where I got the majority of sales. And then they got rid of it in lieu of sponsored ads because Amazon had this bar on every single product that customers who bought this also bought. And it was the most brilliant organic discovery tool for people to see products. Like I'm from Canada, right? Right now I'm in Europe, but I'm from Canada. When I was shopping on Amazon, every time I would add on my phone, like something to my order, when I'm checking out, I would scroll down, customers who bought this also bought, and look through, what did I miss? What else do I want? What else do I want? Right? So they had the best database ever to actually make
Yeah,
proper
because I thought it
recommendations.
is a powerful database.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they got rid of all of that, and now they just have sponsored ads there. They have no relevance whatsoever. And then, like, it became way too difficult, maybe even impossible, to guarantee successful book launch. Because before I could, okay?
Yeah.
And it was relying on that organic thing. So,
Yeah.
books, 10 years. Then I started a high-ticket fitness company in 2020 called RebelFit.io. Here we're selling $5,000 fitness packages. Books are very low ticket. Books like $199, $299, $399. Okay?
Yeah.
And books is where I learned ads because the first 5 years of the publishing company, all my sales were organic. Okay? And I was always looking over my shoulder being like, you know, what if it fails? What if it screws up? Like, will it work next month? Like, will I have to go back to Harvard? That was honestly my fear, right? Like, I hated it there. I can't tell you how much. It was the biggest disappointment. But, okay.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so to learn ads for me, it was in 2016. It took me 6 months. Every single day I was inside Facebook Ads Manager for 4 to 6 hours without fail, didn't skip a single day. And I spent $160,000 of my own money just to learn how to break even. Okay? And I was like, okay, fine, this is my tuition fee. That's really what I took as ads. Okay? And after that point, I could run stuff on ads very well. Okay? Now,
Even
books,
with the algorithms changing all the time and things like that.
you gotta keep up to date, but yeah.
That must
So
be tough.
yeah. Well, it's like we'll talk. I'll talk you through everything, right? I'll explain everything to you. Okay.
Yeah.
So books are very low ticket, right? They're like $299 or $399 maximum. So when I ran ads there, it worked. Then when I started RebelFit.io, the high ticket fitness company, we were selling $5,000 packages. So the other extreme to scale, right? Same thing. When I ran ads there, it worked. There are other issues with that thing where I kept running into Facebook bans. So I would run ads for like a week or two and it was successful, and then I'd get banned. And then I'd do it again, I would get banned. And I'd do it again, I would get banned. And that was a whole disaster because the company was ready to scale to big, big numbers. Okay? And I was like, okay, I know ads, like we'll just put, because this is why I love paid traffic now is why I'm doing this, because it's very predictable, right? It's like X dollars in, Y dollars out. And as you scale, it goes up, like efficiencies decrease as you scale somewhat, right? But it's very, very predictable. Versus organic, which is just like, one second, I gotta turn AC on here. Because it's...
Yeah, but if you're good at it, I know it's really good business. If you know exactly what your target groups are.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
It's very predictable.
I remember 10, you know, just before I got sick, I started some Facebook ads, and back in the days, that was easy doing it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, I know. Now this is.
World.
So I'll tell you about that.
Then I could see if I was running. I had a 3-second what do you call freebie.
Yep.
And I was running it, and then within 5 days, I had 2,000 subscribers, and I thought, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I need to have a funnel, I need to have a welcome letter, I need something, and I never got around to make those things.
This is great what you're saying, because this is exactly what we do, right? And I'm taking the long route to tell you because I want you just to understand, like, kind of really where we're coming from. So
exactly.
Right. So that you understand us. Right.
Yeah. So you learned it that way first, Amazon, and then Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. So here's the thing. This agency we started last March, right? I've been burned 5 times client side by other agencies before with books and with the high ticket fitness business. Because
what do you mean by burned?
Like screwed over. Like I'll tell you.
But
for example,
because they were using your.
I'll tell you exactly. Yes, this is that's my exact thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was 3 times with books and twice with RebelFit.io. I was running ads myself, right? But I was always like, well, what do I know? I learned by myself. I'm just me. Like agencies, they seem professional. They have offices in London, New York. Like, they really know what they're doing. All this bullshit, right? So, and this is what kills me, exactly what you're saying. I would pay the retainer plus the ad spend, and I would give them a functioning ad account, like something that works. And every single time, without fail, what would happen? Results would start to crater off and then die. Okay. And after the 5th time doing it, I'm like, okay, I probably know better than any of these guys, right? Any of these losers. And the thing is, in this field, like the agency field, the average agency has an 85% churn rate. Okay. So what that means is 85% of customers who sign on after the first contract, they never come back because they got no results. And then the 15% who literally just randomly stumbled on results by pure fluke chance are the shining case studies you see on all the websites, right? That's how it works behind the scenes. Now, the reason for that is because most agencies, they're just trying to get as many customers as possible and churn through them because they know they won't retain them, right? So to do that, what they do is they offer some cheap monthly retainer, $2,000, $3,000. Any business that's doing, 30K plus can afford that to give it a shot, right? But with 2 to 3K as a retainer, they're trying to profit off that, right? And if you want to pay a good team, that's not enough money to even pay one person, right? So what ends up happening is all the work gets offshore to like $2 an hour Filipino virtual assistants, and then everyone's like scratching their heads, why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? Right? This is the agency model. Now, because I've been there on the other side, right, and I have some integrity. If my face is behind it, like I want it to be the best fucking thing in the world, we do things totally differently. Okay? So as Boom Boom creators, we have one team, which is the best team, the A team, the only team, right? And it doesn't matter if you're coming to us under 10,000 a month or you're doing 250K plus. You get the same exact team, okay? Now, with that said, we can only handle about 13 to 15 active clients at a time, okay? Because that's just the capacity, right?
Yeah.
Now, so and I'll show you some other stuff. I'll do screen share. I'll show you everything. Right now, we have about 17 to 20 total clients, but 13 to 15 active. And what the difference is the ones who are kind of inactive are people who we've taken, we've grown, we've scaled to a very high level, and we've implemented all the systems, all the process for them. Then we went out and we hired specifically high-end talent to like run their ads and learn our systems. We pay them a lot of money, then that one person is responsible for that whole brand. And then it's like hands off by us because everything is just rolling and moving along. Okay?
Yeah.
So, basically how it works in my eyes like this. The first engagement, I want it to be proof of concept of us to you, where it's like, you see that we know what we're doing, we're making you money, and we can grow and scale your store, okay? And then once that's all checked off, what I'm after is long-term partnerships, right? Because like I said, 85% churn rate, other agencies, I don't know our exact numbers, but we have like a 90% plus retention rate, right? Because the clients I take on, first of all, I got to screen you to make sure that we can do stuff profitably. And then we put the systems in place and like I'll explain them very, very much in depth so you understand, right? And then success is really guaranteed, right? As long as you fit the criteria for a client that we can make things work for, okay?
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. The only time people actually disappear is if they just want to take stuff internally, right? And I have absolutely no problem with that because all the assets we create for you are yours. You're in control of everything, right? We even help with the transition whenever that happens, right? Because again, I just like this, like we have very stable relationship with all our clients. I know all of them, personally. And it's like this, right? I'm the founder of the company. I'm talking to you. Like we might be talking for hours here, right? There's no like hard pressure. Oh, you got sales guys, like 15 sales guys doing 20 calls a day, all this nonsense, right? Because I want really, really strong relationships, okay? So first part
it makes sense too, because I mean, a lot of times you can start something, but if for me as well, if I invest a lot of time on doing things in a different way, then I'm very dependent on you. And then if you just disappear, it's worth nothing to me.
Yes.
And then I will have lost a lot of time and a lot of investments.
Yep.
And so obviously you're also interested in long-term relationships where it depends on the cost of it and if it's a good business for everybody. Because a lot of
exactly.
times,
That's exactly it.
It needs to be worth it.
Yep.
But I mean, a lot of money paying off. If you're getting a lot of money, then why?
This is how I structure the deals. Just so you know upfront, okay? The retainer is always going to be what it's going to cost me to pay my team deliver to the business at your level of scale. So on the retainer, we don't make money, we don't lose money, okay, as an agency, okay? Where we make money is long-term. We want to take between 10 and 15% of all revenue that we bring in, but this is once we've scaled you past 100K and above, right? Big numbers. And that's what we want to get you to.
15%.
I'll talk about all the pricing and everything at the very end.
Right? It's just so I have a little bit of idea.
Exactly. But that 10 to 15% is where we make our profits. Once we've grown your business to a good level, and it makes sense for you to pay that, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you
and
have.
Also, when it's at a good level, you also want to increase that because you also have your.
That's exactly right. Right.
Exactly.
So this is okay. So.
It's really a question about how patient you are.
No. This is. I'll explain everything to you. Okay. Now you're good on time, right? You don't have a hard cut off where you have to go. We can talk, right? Okay. Because sometimes they take like 2 to 3 hours. Because I want to go in depth on your business to make sure that, hey, we can make it work. And like, you're obviously interested because it's your business, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
okay. So how the call is going to go is like this. We're just going to talk about this. But at the start, I got to screen your business, your metrics, your numbers, KPIs, things like that. So I can tell you right away if like, yes, we can do it or no, we can't. Because with paid ads, there's always an acquisition cost for a customer, right? So what I'm really looking for is if I have enough wiggle room to acquire customers profitably for you. Okay, and obviously we want high quality products, and you've already told me they are extremely high quality, right? People love them and all this sort of stuff. Okay, and then assuming it's good, and I think it probably is because you're not doing drop shipping with like 10% margins. I'll explain everything that we do very, very much in depth. Okay, so you have a full understanding. All right, my whole goal is just that everything I say makes complete logical sense to you, right? I'm not going to be like, oh, you know, in the past 5 days we spent $500 million of ads and we made $10 billion back. Like, that's bullshit numbers. Anyone can make it up, right? I want you to understand like all the stuff that's in my head very, very logically so you can see how exactly we'll actually grow and scale your business, okay? And then at the end of that, if you're like, yeah, that sounds great, let's work together, what I'll do is I'll take some deposit, small, it's just a sign of good faith on your side that you are actually interested. And what that also does is it helps me out because it drafts the contract automatically with the information that we got there, okay? Contracts then there for your protection, lists out all the stuff I talked about. I send that over. As soon as you're good, like most people are good with it right away. If you want any changes, just tell me. I have no issues making changes. Because again, it's for you, right? But once you sign that contract and I sign, the document's complete, and you get an auto email to book your onboarding call with my business partner, Phil, okay? When people commit to us, speed wins in business. So let's say today, like, yeah, let's do it. And then I send you the contract and you sign it tonight. You get that auto email within a couple minutes. Book the call for tomorrow or the next day, because you have to move fast with speed and urgency in business. That's what wins, right? You can't be a slug, you can't be slow. Make sense?
Yeah.
Is that cool?
That's cool.
Okay, so let's get into it.
But
yep.
I must say I booked a holiday from next Saturday and a week ahead.
That's okay. We'll figure all that stuff out. But okay, give me kind of broad stroke overview of your business on the direct-to-consumer side, how it's been going this year. Maybe like past 3 or 4 months. How much revenue you're making on average? Where's the traffic coming from? That sort of thing. And direct to consumer on your Shopify store.
Well, on Shopify, it's very passive because I basically only use Shopify for booking sessions.
Okay.
Which are for free.
Okay.
So Shopify must think, what is this girl?
So basically no sales right now direct to consumer.
There's no sales on Shopify.
Okay.
It's like 2 or 3 dresses a year.
Okay.
I mean, nothing, because people, when they discover that they can book a meeting at my place, they will rather do that.
Yep.
Plus, then I think that my time, that my price level is too high for a lot of
online
people
direct immediate sales. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was looking at as well, and I was a little bit concerned about that. But here's the thing: you told me this is stuff for like fitted stuff, and then you know sew up for them or whatever, right? What's the average price point for kind of the mass market stuff that someone can just come in, buy, and we ship it out to them? What sort of price point are we looking at?
When we do the mass...
For example, like if we set up your Shopify store, and we have products on there, like obviously different products will cost different amounts, right?
Yes.
But whatever, let's say like your kind of best sellers that are most popular, we want to focus on those, right? So just to segment between your whole product line. Okay.
Yeah.
Then for those, we want ones that we can, like someone can come in from an ad, right? Buy it, get it shipped, and they have the product. So you're not involved in fitting, measuring, anything like that. Okay.
Yeah, it's the prices that are on my
Is it same pricing still?
Yeah.
Okay. What's that? Can you convert that to USD for me, just so I know on average?
Sorry.
Can you convert that to US?
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
You divide it by 7.
By 7. Okay. Well, so give me the. I'll just calculate.
So if my price point is 3,500, the average for a dress.
Yep. So it's about
divided
500.
by 7, that's $500.
Okay. Now, is that what you'd be selling on average at that price point? Yep. Okay. So what sort of what's the terminology? What sort of clothes do you have? You have dresses. What else are we going to be working
I've got blouses, jackets, coats, skirts and trousers.
Okay. And
the trousers are like around, let me see here, it's around $320.
Okay.
Yeah. and so are the blouses. I try to keep them more or less between $320 and $500.
Okay, all your stuff.
And
Okay.
then I have one coat, for instance, that I sell at the price of $1,700.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, a lot of, because I've had experience with this for years.
Yep.
If I took my 15 best sellers,
Yep.
they more or less, they don't need any fitting or correction, so
That's what we want.
they're very easy to sell
That's what
as
I wanna focus
standard
on.
sizes, because people are not. It's only people in Denmark who have the luxury of getting it fitted
Yeah.
for the same price.
Yes.
They don't pay extra.
Yeah.
And I always say to people, you're welcome when you have it shipped.
Yeah.
To wear it and send me a video of you turning around, and I can tell you exactly where it needs corrections.
Cool.
And you can either ship it back to me,
Yep.
and I can do it, or you can get your local tailor to do it, and I can write down what needs
What to
be
do?
done to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So, but it can be hands-on by you, and I think you like that, right? Do you like doing that sort of stuff, or is it
Yeah,
you want
I-
to get away from it a little bit?
No, I like it, but yeah, I like it a lot. But
Okay.
of course, it's and I don't
Time
mind doing
intensive,
it at
right? It's
all.
time intensive,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. This is what I gotta
And I
figure.
like
Okay.
to make money too.
Here's
A lot of money.
okay. If
Yeah.
this is important to me. Okay. If you give me a ballpark, that's also fine, right? If you give me it's over X%, but we're looking like what sort of margins do you have on something that's $500? Is it at least 50% for you?
Yeah.
It's above that, right?
Yeah.
Do you know is it like 80-ish? I'm just guessing because based on talking to you, is
It
it?
depends on the volume, because like I produce one at a time, and
Okay.
then it's 50%.
Okay.
But if I could produce 300 at a time,
Yeah.
then that's what I used to do in the old days. you
Yeah.
know.
And then what are we looking at? For
Then
costs?
then it's from the cost price to, then I used to sell it to the stores at 2.7, and on top of that I was making 3, so you can see that's a good margin.
Yeah. So we got. I think it probably is around the 80% mark, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's brilliant.
So if we are able to get the volumes up on
Yep.
things, then
Then you
I
can figure out the
produce it
supply chain.
somewhere else.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. Very good. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a quick story again about our background. So why these numbers are so important to me to understand if we can make it work. And you can see on my face like, yeah, we can make it work so easy. So my business partner Phil, he's a lot younger than me. He's 12 years younger. I think he just turned 22.
How old are you?
34.
Okay.
So, but
That's why you have so much energy.
I mean, I'm always like this. But okay, so Phil has been in e-com since 2018. Okay, since he was in high school. And
All right.
his specialty was growing single product stores from $0 to $100,000 a month in about 30 to 45 days on Facebook. Okay? And he would do this over and over again, 6 or 7 times. Okay? Now, the reason everyone passed the 100K was two reasons. One, he didn't want to deal with like inventory and logistics and 3PLs and all this extra stuff. But
Which is piece of boring, yeah.
right? But the real reason was it was always dropship crap from China. Okay? So it would be like 6 to 8 week delivery time. Horrible low quality when customers open it. 40% of them want to return it. Phil didn't accept refunds, right? So his whole strategy was, and this was higher ticket stuff too, which is why your price points are phenomenal, because this is what we're using. This is like the original bread and butter for us, okay? So his whole strategy was to get a single product store. So there's only one product on the store, and it's the homepage and it's the product. Run ads to it, right? Build systems around it, obviously. Scale it as quickly as possible to $100,000 months, and ride those months out for as long as he could until all the negative customer feedback got into the ad account, affected itself, and everything plummeted and died. Okay? And he was honestly hoping for 2, maybe 3, and then if he got lucky, maybe 4 months. Okay? And that was it. That was the longevity. Okay? Now, obviously, $100,000 months, nothing to sneeze at. When you can do it on repeat, also that means you have good systems, right? But the margins in dropshipping are so low that just take a wild guess, like any number, whatever comes to mind first. What do you think his profits were, like his take home for him, off $100,000 a month?
Oh, I don't know, 5%?
Ah, yes! It was like $3,000 to $5,000. Okay?
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, why even bother with all that work for 3, 4, 5K? Right?
Yeah.
No point.
Yeah.
But that's what he was doing, right? And then when the stores launched, he would just chill and not do much, and they would just run out, and he would have his 3 to 5K, right? But horribly inefficient system, because the margins in the dropshipping originally are like 10 to 15%. So when you're giving us 50% plus, right? we're building the same systems around you that work for 10 to 15. So it's like, yeah, we can make this work with our eyes closed, right? That's why we started this agency. Because we come in, we take over your entire marketing funnel, okay? Everything from top of funnel when they see a cold traffic ad for the first time, all the way down to bottom of funnel when they receive a receipt of a successful purchase in their inbox. We have to control the whole entire thing, and only like that you're guaranteed results. Okay?
Yeah, because that's the only thing that makes sense to me
Yeah.
too. And that's what I realized with my business. I can start, and I was trying to build up this whole thing, and I thought, you know what? With my capacity and my knowledge, it's gonna take years.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so much money lost. Like I told you,
Yeah.
right? For me to learn ads.
And energy, for me, energy,
Yeah.
because I mean, I used to work for DIOR in Paris.
Yep.
I'm a good designer.
Yep.
But I've lost since I was sick, I got lost so much in energy. And
Yep.
when your energy goes down, your
You
business
can't do
goes
it.
down
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why I thought it would be nice to have somebody else who could take part of that. But
Yep.
obviously, me as a creative person, I mean, I know my business as well, and I have been
Yep.
able to live from this for years. But
Yep.
I can see there's so much more potential because of my talent.
Yep.
And I just can't let it. I can't open up.
Okay,
because
now imagine. Okay. I'm just gonna draw a parallel. Imagine somebody saying what you're saying if they had dropship products from China. Like, yeah, because of my talent. It's like, what fucking talent? You can't, right? This is why I get so excited. This is why I love what I do, right? This is what we're
I
after.
spent years to try to find the right producers because
Yeah.
you don't want this because that will ruin your business.
Yeah, and ruin the brand integrity and everything, brand image, everything, right?
Everything. And I mean, I've been working years to get that integrity, and it takes time. That's why it's called slow fashion.
Yep.
But then the money you get is also equally better.
Yep, absolutely. And this is
Yeah.
literally like this conversation exactly what I love. This is what I love to do, right? Because like
Yeah.
we tap into you. You have great products, you have amazing margins, and you have that industry experience, right? To keep making great products. We can
Yeah.
do the marketing. We love the marketing, right? We love the creative side, right? I love growing businesses.
Are you patient with the marketing? Because I can feel you're very energetic, and of course you are able to make things happen.
Yep.
But are you also patient to know that in the beginning it will take time? Because
This is great that you're saying this. This is so good. Then you understand everything. I mean, I'll explain the entire process. I'll explain the scenario. I'll explain what sort of growth we can expect and all this sort of stuff. But that's so smart. Like, see, you're serious about this. It's not a joke to you, right? You're not sitting there and being like, okay, yeah, well, like, am I going to make $50,000 in 30 days? In my first 30 days.
Yeah, I want it to be a long term where it's actually built on the fundamental that works. Because
perfect.
you can ruin my brand in 2 weeks very quickly.
Yep.
Dissatisfied customer and so on. Obviously, there will be problems, but it will take time. And that's why I'm thinking, because you say that you're investing, but it will take time in the beginning. And I know, and I would say this is not good for my brand. We have to do it a different way, and it will be a slower way. But on the long term, it will make more money.
This is so good. This is like, you're just speaking my mind. This is brilliant. You'll see. You'll see as I start explaining things, you'll be like, oh yeah, okay, it really is exactly like I said. You said, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, so products are fantastic. Okay, here's a question. What's your ceiling right now in terms of revenue you can handle per month from online orders? Is there one, or like what? Just with your current supply chain, what are we looking at?
I have a what do you call it in English? A sewing team in Lithuania.
Okay.
But because of COVID and the situation with Putin and so on, she has had to fire some of her girls. So I'm right at the moment we're actually having problems delivering my few orders.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if I told her that we would have a lot of orders, she would just hire in more people again.
Okay.
And she would maybe also skip some of the other customers that are competing with my orders at the moment. But because I've been slowing down completely, because I wanted to set up my funnels and everything, and I found out that it takes time for me to do that. And of course, because I was thinking of doing the strategy that you want to do for me instead, but it takes time to set it up anyway. But I have my old production place in Lithuania as well that I also bring in play. So I would say, of course, I get stressed thinking about if I get too many orders, but I'm always like,
you can deal with it, right? That's good. Yeah, it's a good problem to have. Okay.
And I know some different chains where I can go in, and I also I used to make my knitwear in China as the only thing because it's a very small place.
Yep.
So that they can do my high-end products. I've tried China before. I've tried India.
Yeah.
way back, and I know which ones to avoid and so on.
Okay. Okay.
But I would say it's a positive problem to have.
Okay.
It depends on what people's expectancy of delivery time is.
Yeah. What do you do? What's your delivery time after someone places?
Well, if you're buying something from scratch, it's between 4 to 8 weeks delivery on your own measures. But if you buy it from the web shop and it's already produced, then it's the shipping time, of course.
So how much inventory do you have right now? Okay, let's go like this. When we launch apparel brands are a little bit different because apparel brands, we need to have, you want to offer multiple products, okay? But for most brands otherwise, we really want to hyper focus on like a single product, one at a time, so that we really grow it off that single thing. Okay, so for you, for example, you said the top 15%, or you said 15 items, right, that are your best sellers, kind of across the board.
Yeah, I have 15 things where I thought if I made a welcome, a funnel with welcome letters, 6 welcome letters, then after those, I thought, okay, I have 15 bestsellers. I could do automatic emails around them, make stories for them, and so on.
What we would do in terms of running ads and paid traffic is we would run like image ads and UGC ads and video ads for each product, and we would split test because it depends on every single brand. Either directly to the product page for that product, or to a catalog page with all the 15. But I don't want more than 15. I don't want like 45. You know, like I don't know how many SKUs you have like how many different products you have in general, because SKUs also size and all
this. I have around 1,200 products.
Yeah, we don't want to put 1,200 on the Shopify store and let them. They have no idea what to pick, right? We want the collection of 15. Okay, 15 actually is a good number. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how's your inventory right now for those 15 in terms of sizes and stuff like that? Like, do you have inventory available right now domestically, or do you have to order this stuff in as orders come through?
I have a little of each, but not much.
Okay.
But I have a little of each.
Okay. And I mean, it's higher ticket stuff, right? So you get a couple sales, and you can have a couple grand, and we can make orders and all this sort of stuff as well, right? So it's not like you're selling $30 shirts and you only have 3 shirts, right? Okay, very cool. And I mean, I love what you said about.
I have a lot of my older designs where there's one of each in each color left.
Yep.
And I could make special sales on them if that's
that's something we would do. That's something we would do through emails.
Or we could just sell them off the web shop, because there is a lot, and it would be lovely to get rid of the stock.
We can do that. Yep, we can do that.
And pick the best sellers and focus on those in the future. But the other ones could bring in some revenue.
And this is fantastic. Yeah, this is all fantastic what you're saying, because you're actually thinking about like a proper businesswoman. Like seriously, this is rare, right? Like compliments to you, because like you're gonna be so easy to work with. Because like how it'll work is we'll build out all your assets and all your stuff. Then we'll start running the ads. We'll scale the ads to a certain level that you have proof of concept it's working. And then we'll probably have to pause there at that level until you get more supply and more stock of the stuff that's popular. Then once you have it, we start scaling it up, and then it just, it's a process, overall growth. Okay?
Exactly.
Now, okay, so just so you understand what we do, there's kind of 3 main things that we do. Okay? The first one is ad creation, ideation, which I sent you the Loom on WhatsApp before the call. Did you have a chance to watch that?
I saw some of it, but very quickly, because I saw it initially, but that was on a phone and I couldn't see the little things. And then today I didn't have so much time before, but I quickly just sat in between to see.
Okay, perfect. Then I'll talk about that a little bit more in depth than I usually do if you hadn't watched it. Okay, just to explain that. But that's basically how we make ads. Okay. Next part is ads delivery, media buying. This is how we run the ads, go into the ads managers, the right strategy for scale, like clicking the right buttons, doing the right stuff in there. Okay.
Yeah.
And third one is something called post-click optimization. This is just a fancy way of saying everything that happens after somebody clicks an ad. Okay? So in post-click optimization, we're looking at 3 kind of other elements. First is conversion rate optimization to get your conversion rate as high as possible. Okay? So the higher percentage of people who actually click on the ad and go to your store, higher percentage buy. Okay? 2 others are emails and post-purchase upsells. And what we're looking to overall is we're trying to increase your conversion rate, we're increasing your average order value, and we're increasing the lifetime value of each customer. Okay, that's what we're moving here. Okay, conversion optimization is direct edits to the landing page on the website to increase that by improving trust. And I'll do a screen share. I'll show you pages we've done so you can it's solid in your head. Okay, average order value that comes from post-purchase upsells. Like you do bundles and different offers and playing around with stuff like that. But
and if they said no to this but yes to that,
exactly, right? So all that structure, but the one that really moves the needle is called the post-purchase upsell. And I'll probably explain that now, like this third part I'll explain now. Okay, and then to increase lifetime value, it's emails. Okay, so let me go into all of those. All right, so conversion optimization first. I'll just touch on it so you kind of see what numbers we're looking at and we're playing with. Okay, and then at the, after I explain everything else, then I'll do a screen share and show you websites of like that we've built, so you see that in practice for real. Okay, so with conversion optimization, I'll tell you a story. Okay, this was one of our first clients, in the third or fourth, something like that. She came in last year, like I think April or something. When she booked the call, I was super excited because her website looked like unbelievable. I thought it was a multi-million-dollar a month brand. Okay, because she was an industrial designer. She had a really, really good eye for aesthetics. Okay, and she was selling Mediterranean-inspired skincare stuff, so like vitamin C serums, lotions, creams, all this sort of thing. Okay. Her website looked so good that she had wholesalers reaching out to her every couple months, being like, "Hey, we want to stock your stuff. We want to stock your stuff." And her answer was always like, "Oh, guys, I'd love to, but I only do like $500 of orders a month, and I do it in my kitchen." Right? So, but again, just a testament to how good her site looked. But despite the site looking good visually, her conversion rate, because she was running ads herself on Facebook and she had no idea what she was doing, right? But she was able to about break even on ads, which is that's just luck, okay? Because her conversion rate on her landers was under 0.5%. Okay? So what that means is she would need 200 people to click one ad to get one sale for $30. And off that inefficiency, because there's product costs and all this and shipping, etc., right? She was able to break even. So that's why I'm saying she just lucked out in the Facebook ads because she had no idea what she was doing here, right? But the first thing we did, because all this stuff in post-call optimization is always the lowest hanging fruit for us to fix up. And if you had existing traffic to your site, you'd see an uplift in revenue and profits right away. Okay, so we came in, we redid her landing pages for the products, kept her same design, kept her same aesthetic, just put in all kind of conversion rate best practices. And this is an outlier case, right? This is a phenomenal success story, is what I'm telling you, right? But we got her conversion rate off cold traffic up to almost, not quite, but almost 3%. So again, it was like 2.7 something, I don't know. Okay, so from under 0.5 to 3. So that means before she was having 200 people click an ad to get one sale, $30, and she was able to break even on that, right? Whereas now, same 200 people click the ad, instead of one sale for 30, she gets 6 sales for 180, and now suddenly she's wildly profitable off ads that were not set up correctly and she just fluked into. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's the importance of conversion optimization. Now her thing is that she's unable to figure out her supply chain. So we've been just hanging out at like $15,000, $20,000 months ever since we got her there. Okay? So,
nice.
Right? But, so because we're ready to scale that to 100K plus, 200K, everything. Like everything's ready, right? But she can't figure it out. But I also think she's just happy there. Okay? So that's conversion optimization. And I'll show you what all this stuff is so you can actually visually see it. Okay? Now, so that you understand the numbers that we're aiming for, it's like this. For cold traffic, and cold traffic is someone who sees an ad for the first time and clicks it and goes to your site. Okay? For cold traffic, if we have a conversion rate between 1 and 2%, that's perfect. Anywhere in there is perfect to scale to basically any level you want. Okay? That's why I say the 3% we got her is outlier, right? It was much better than expected. Okay? With warm traffic, and warm traffic are people who know you, right? So they've seen you on Instagram, they've seen you in real life, they've walked into your store, like they're searching for you specifically, they're coming in with buying intent. Okay? Warm traffic should convert between 5 and 7%. Okay? And that's the same, right? Same landing page is high quality for conversion rate, 1 to 2 off cold, 5 to 7 off warm. Okay? Those are the numbers, like standard numbers that we aim for. Not big outliers, but that's the standard thing. Okay?
And realistic.
That's exactly what I mean, right? And when you have that, everything works, everything flows. Okay? Now, step 2 is emails. Okay? So you're talking about funnels, and I think you're just building subscribers list, and you're emailing them and you want to sell them like that. Okay? What I mean about that's fantastic. That's like active campaigns. If you have some of that and you have ideas for that, we'll implement that for you. That's brilliant. Okay? But with emails, again, we're looking for the lowest hanging fruit for us to implement and give you a big uplift in revenue, sales, etc. Or like what this is for you right now is just building systems around your products. Okay? So with emails split up into 2 different categories. One is automation flows that you set up once and they just run by themselves forever indefinitely, right? And the other is active campaigns. Okay, and active campaigns are like sales or holidays or promotions, and you write the emails every single week, all this sort of stuff. Okay, active campaigns are the same work on our end if you're doing under 10K a month or you're doing 100K a month, because we have to write the freaking emails right at the same time. So we only throw those in when you've crossed around 50K or something, because that's when it makes sense. Okay, like that's when the work justifies the return. Okay, but with the automation, the 4 flows, there's 4 core flows. Okay, that when you set up correctly and they run, they make up between 15 and 20% of your monthly store revenue. Okay?
Yeah.
15 and 20%. And again, this is not an outlying number. This is just standard across the board, like easy to get to. And not easy to get. If you don't know what you're doing, you won't get there. But we know what we're doing, right? So that's the standard. What those 4 core flows are First is customer VIP intro. So when they put their email in, they get a welcome email from you introducing them to the brand, to you. If your face is on it, that's great because people love to identify with people. All that social proof you have, like the queen, etc. You put in there, tell the brand story, maybe ask them for their birthday so that you can send a coupon on their birthday automatically, right? That's
all my customers, I've got their birthdays.
Okay, there you go, right? So brilliant. Second one is browse abandonment. That's after they put their email in, when they're just looking around the site and they just disappear after a while, right? It's to catch them there. Third, this one's obvious, is abandoned cart. And that's when someone's checking out but doesn't finish, you get them back in. And then fourth is customer win back. And what customer win back is everyone who's made a purchase is put into a drip sequence to buy something else further down the line. Okay?
Yeah.
So those 4 flows, set up correctly, set up once, right? You press the go button and they run, and they should be 50 and 20% of your monthly store revenue. Okay? Off those email flows. That's the lifetime value, right? Improvement that I was talking about. Okay?
Yeah.
Next is post-purchase upsell. Post-purchase upsell is really cool. Now, just hear me out about the whole system, and then we'll talk about like specifics for your brand. Okay? So what a post-purchase upsell is when you're running paid ads and paid traffic, right? There's an acquisition cost for every customer. So when someone clicks an ad, goes to your site, browses, adds to cart, goes to checkout, right? Puts their information, puts their card in, and presses buy now, and the card gets charged. When the card gets charged, you've paid the acquisition cost for the customer, whatever it may be. Which means that everything that happens afterwards is pure free profit for you, okay? So what a post-purchase upsell is, after the card gets charged, pop-up goes on the screen, and just like you said, it says, hey, do you want to buy this great thing at this great deal, yes or no? If they click yes, it just auto-charged again, and off they go. If they click no, you have another offer, right? Even if they click yes, you can have another offer, right? With one client, we had to do a very aggressive one. We had 7 offers that they had to click through, but they were in a desperate spot, right? So, but
yeah, because it's also, with high-end products, it's very important that you don't push the customers in the wrong way, but in a stylish way.
Exactly. This is what I want to say.
That sweet spot.
This is exactly what I was going to say, right? That's why I say listen to what I say first, and then we'll talk about specifics to your brand. Okay? I'm going to give you a stupid example of a post-purchase upsell funnel. We obviously don't do this for you, right? But just to cement the numbers. Okay? Let's say you're selling something for $100, and your cost of goods is 50. Okay? This is like dropshipping model. And your cost to acquire a customer also happened to be 50. Okay, someone comes in, they buy the thing, right, for $100. It costs you 50, plus to acquire them costs you 50. So you're break even on that sale. And then for the post-purchase upsell, you can say, hey, do you want another one of this thing you just bought for just 55? Okay, and everyone will say yes. And everyone says yes is $5 profit for you that wouldn't exist otherwise. Now, obviously, don't discount a $100 thing to 55 to devalue your brand, all of this sort of stuff, right? But that's just kind of the strength of a post-purchase upsell funnel. Everything that happens is pure free profit for you. Okay, for a high-end brand like yours, it could be something like those things that you have, that you want to clear inventory of, right? And you could say, hey, original price is here, I'm going to give you free 20% off, or whatever is consistent with the brand, right? The point of a post-purchase upsell isn't to discount as high as possible, right? It's to have good consistency with your brand image and all this to maintain brand health. But the real point is to give you extra profits, right? So again, when the post-purchase upsell is set up correctly, and this does take a little bit of time. Okay, because we need to have traffic flowing in, we have to test different offers, this sort of stuff, right? But once it's set up and flowing, it might take 2-3 months, something like that, okay? Again, we're aiming for that same number, 15 to 20% of store revenue. And this is not some outlier amazing number, it's just standard across the board, okay? And what that translates to for lower ticket stuff is about a 40% take rate. So 40% of people who see the offer take you up on it, and then that means 15-20% of store revenue. For higher ticket stuff, we're not going to get 40% uptake, but we're aiming for at least that 15 to 20% of store revenue from post-purchase upsells. Okay, so this is like a little bit of the systems we built around products, because just like you said, back in 2016, you could probably run a conversion ad to a product. Someone just buys the product and you're profitable, right? But like those days are long gone. Like for you, when we're playing with larger inventory and we have 80% margins, it'll still work like that, right? But why would you leave money on the table, not do the emails, not do the post-purchase upsells, not do the conversion rate optimization, right? So this is what I mean. We build systems around every single brand, every single product. And I think because you're smart, you understand that these are specific to you. It's not like we take your brand and drop it into a template that exists and every client gets the same shit, right?
Well, so some templates you can reuse but reformat, and others you need
absolutely, because we bank on our experience, right?
Yeah.
Like we're better at it now than we were a year ago because we have more experience, and we'll keep getting better forever, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it is. But again, these numbers that I'm telling you, they're not the big outlier numbers, right? They're just the standard across the board. That's what's expected, and it's like, it happened. I'm like, yeah.
But how much on that? How much do you expect? What part of the job can you do other than the online technical part? Do you also do you have graphic designers setting up the content and things?
Yeah. We create the ads. We create all the footage. We do all the image ads. If you have an asset library of your own pictures and videos, we also tap into that, because why wouldn't we use that? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we
exactly.
do the whole
funnel.
funnel.
You can ask me to do videos here. I've got different people that I can
Okay, that's good.
I need a story about this and that, and then I can stand and say exactly what you need me to say. And
perfect, because that might be even better, right? Because what we do is we have a team of UGC creators who are on our payroll that usually customers ship products to. When you have really expensive stuff and it costs you $250 for each one, you don't want to ship it to 5 creators, right? Then you don't get it back and it might not fit. You probably want to be in control right there locally, right? So if you give us that opportunity, that's fantastic, because I think it's better for you, and like you're more in control, right?
Yeah. As long as I know what's the story and what's the content.
Because this is okay.
The product, and then your graphic designers can set it up.
So let me go back to the first step then. Okay.
Yeah.
First step is ad creation ideation. This is where the whole journey starts. Okay. So what we have to do there is, so how the process works from your side. If you're like, yeah, let's work together, let's move forward. We go through all the formalities, you sign the contract, then you get your onboarding call with Phil. Okay? On that onboarding call, I'm not there. It's just you and him. And the purpose of that call is, once you're a real client, we go deeper into exactly what we're going to do, and we get the numbers and all this real strategy. But the other is he has his own perspective on your brand. Okay? Then what happens after he has that call with you, he and I meet, and we brainstorm and strategize based on what I think about your brand and what he thinks about your brand, and there's that synergy there. Okay? The first 5 to 7 days, our creative director, Tom, he goes and he researches the customer avatar of who's buying your stuff and why. Okay? The only homework we'll really need from you is after that meeting, within the first 7 days, right? We have a form that asks you about what you know of the customer avatar. Okay? You fill that out whenever you do, but we don't look at that until we do our own research. Because we want to have, right? We're coming in fresh, right? Exactly. Fresh look. We want to look at it, and you've been in the industry for 17 years, right? So you'll have insights that we won't get, but you also have blind spots that we'll be able to spot. And same thing for us. We'll miss stuff that you'll know, right? So it's that same sort of thing. We do our customer avatar research, you fill out that information for us, and we do, again, that synergy, okay? Then once we understand the customer avatar, who's buying your stuff and why, that's when we start the creative process of making ads and doing all this, okay? For the UGC ads are just vertically filmed videos, okay? They're always across the board going to be your biggest long-term performers with the highest return on ad spend. Okay, return on ad spend, ROAS, is just a ROI number. It's like the multiplier that if you put $1 in the ad account times the ROAS, what do you get out? So if it's a 2x ROAS, 1 times 2 is $2 out. If it's a 5x, 1 times 5, $5 out, right? So the UGC ads will give you the highest ROAS over time. Okay, so they're going to be the best performers no matter what. Now, how we make those ads is that's the video that I showed you, right? So let me talk you through it from kind of start to finish, because I don't know how much you saw, but just you'll understand, right? You can stop me if it's you already know, or you can ask questions and all this sort of stuff. So the traditional way of making video ads that most people do and most brands do is let's say they come up with 5 different kind of high-level video concepts, right? Like this video is about this one's about this, this one's about this, this one's about this, this one's like you said, right? Even 5 different stories that you want to tell in your videos. Okay, you go out and film them. But when you make ads like that, and video ads especially, when you put them out there, what you're really doing is just throwing it out there and hoping something sticks, right? Maybe all 5 stick if you're lucky. Maybe none do. Maybe 2 do. Okay, let's say 2 do. If 2 of them work...
But if you pick one that performing better than the others and then make 5 new versions of that, maybe.
That's exactly what we do, but in a more granular way. So I'll explain, okay?
Yeah.
When you have these, the only thing you can really do is just pump budget up on them, right, and try to scale them up as high as possible. But that's fragile because any single ad always has a ceiling, and usually when it hits that ceiling and bypasses it, it doesn't just go back down the ceiling, it can crash and die and just totally collapse, okay? Now, the way we create ads is we do storyboards, which I'm sure you're familiar with, right? These are the scenes you want to film, this is the instructions, this is your voiceover, this is some sample footage or a sample picture of the right angle we want you to do, etc., etc. Okay, so they're very, very detailed because, to be honest, UGC creators are not the brightest bulbs in the whatever the expression is, right? They're not very smart. So our storyboards have to be very, very simple and very easy to follow. But okay, simplicity is good because it means you understand something in depth. Okay, but so we storyboard out different scenes. Okay, and it could be like, we can store about 5 different hooks, like the first 3 seconds for the product we're advertising, then 5 different product intros, and 5 different product benefits, and 5 different competitor comparisons, and 5 different customer testimonials, and 5 different things about like the fabric type and the quality of that, and like et cetera, right? And what ends up happening is we have what we call an asset library. And an asset library is just these little clips, 3 to 5 seconds. I mean, sometimes longer, sometimes 7, 10. Right? It varies, but they're just individual clips that we know what sort of clips they are. Usually with a B-roll, like it's a B-roll footage with a voiceover, right? Because when it's like that, we can take one from here and take one from here and take one from here and create an ad. We can take one from here, take one from here, take one from here, and create an ad, right? So at the end of the day, what we're really doing is we're searching for the underlying ad structure that resonates with your customer avatar and makes them buy. So it's not what video makes them buy, it's what's the underlying ad structure, right, that they respond to. Because once you know that, you literally have infinite permutations of ads. And I'm gonna give you the simplest example ever. Let's say we have a winning hook, so the first 3 seconds, right? And just across the board, it's always the best performer. And at the end, we have a winning call to action saying, go buy this thing now, right? Also, the best performer across the board. And sandwiched between them are just three different scenes. And again, let's say it's product intro, product benefit, customer testimonial. Okay, just making it up. If we storyboard out 5 different scenes, and for you, if we get three girls to do it, or usually I say we ship it out to 3 different creators of products, right? That's still 5 times 3, 15 different scenes for each of these 3 sections. Okay, so what that means for that ad, it's 15 times 15 times 15, which is 15 to the power of 3, which is like 4,300-ish, I think, somewhere around there. Different permutations of that ad that we can run. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is why I say infinite, right?
Yeah.
Because that's huge, right? Now, most of the time, the winning combination we find have more than 3 elements that are variable, right? So if we just add a 4th and it has 10 different scenes that we storyboard, 5 times 2, for example, that's already 43,000 ads that we have that work for you, right? So what this really is applying as much as possible kind of the scientific method to a creative endeavor, right? Which is a little bit of an oxymoron, but that's really what we have to do. And the reason we can do things like this is inside the ads manager, we get very granular data on what's working and why, right? So you can see exactly at what second on this ad someone just scrolled off. Exactly what second they clicked on, browsed your site for whatever, 10, 15 minutes, and then disappeared. Exactly what second they clicked, went to your site, and bought very, very efficiently, very quickly.
Each single one.
Yeah. That's the advantage of data, right? And
because I know when I'm looking at my Instagram or Facebook and I look and see, okay, this video is performing very well, it's shown to 30% none.
Yeah, that's just the organic. Yeah, you don't get metrics in the organic like that.
Yeah, and then you just see, okay, they played this video, they stopped at 16 seconds. Yep. And I know the video is 1 minute long, and I thought that's not long, and you have the front say. But then when I have customers walking in, they come in and really happy. It's so nice to see your videos. They're so much fun and they're engaging.
Yep.
And I saw it several times, and then I'm thinking, okay, if this lady saw it several times, but it still says the average time is 16 seconds, then the others must have seen it even
less,
shorter.
right? Even less.
But it's annoying not being able to see how many actually saw the whole way through.
This is why.
Because they're my core customers who's really interested,
Yeah. This is why I love paid ads, because the ads managers give us very granular data, right?
Oh, that's perfect.
Organic, you don't have that. You just have these kind of, like even these stats, they're not worth much, right?
No.
What organic really is, it's like binary. It's like you post something, it's like, did it work, yes or no? That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
But with paid ads, and then again, the vast majority of people who run paid ads, video ads, right? They waste that data because they just make like a story single video, right? And if you know that people are clicking off, disappearing, what we do is we know exactly what those clips are. So, right, so if there's like 4 different clips before and then they disappear on the 5th clip, then we know that 5th clip is not working, but these 4 are very strong. So the next iteration we make is based around these 4, right? At the start.
And so I love that.
That's the whole.
That's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Right. It's very time intensive.
Right. But let me just ask you one question. Mm-hmm. I hope I'm not
good.
Yeah. The thing that I was thinking about is because I've been watching so many marketing videos and courses and so on, so I understand your whole principle of what it is, and I'm thinking I just need somebody to implement these things and really sit and nerd with the whole thing, because that takes a lot of the skills to do that.
Yep.
And I thought I will never be able to do that.
Yep.
But they all go on the rant about that it's so important to have your own email list because the direct email marketing is the one that has the highest conversion.
You have direct control of those customers.
Exactly, and so with Meta, whatever they do, you will always have them in your own barn, so to speak.
Yep.
Or stock or whatever you call it.
Yep. No, it's your own gated community that you control. You have their information, you have their name, first birthday, even you have, right? And every single person who places, I'll take you through I'll do a screen share. I'll take you through your funnel, and I'll take you through like a better, like one that we did, so you can see the differences.
Because I'm thinking those funnels of getting customers into email marketing is great, but these days people are not very keen on giving.
No. We're not going to run email marketing. We're going to run conversion campaigns. Conversion campaigns, an ad to a product page or a catalog page with the express purchase.
So you never do any campaigns with the emails at all.
We're doing one right now, and like literally it was launched yesterday, but there's still a purchase attached at the end to it. And this is one of our best clients. They signed on, I think in May or June last year, and she's launching a new product on Kickstarter. And because we've had success with her, like, with our main offer, which is paid ads for direct-to-consumer Shopify stores, right? She wanted us to do the Kickstarter. We're like, hey, but we have no experience. She's like, that's okay. I trust you guys. You know good stuff, right? So like, okay, we'll do it, but you understand, right? This is our first time doing it. She's like, yeah, that's fine. So for her, and the funny thing is, I did not like the product at all. I thought it was horrible. I thought it was going to be a disaster. And we told her. I was like, we just don't think there's any market. And she's like, no, it's going to be good. And ads were launched yesterday, and they have literally like 10x better metrics than any ad we've ever seen, that we've ever run anywhere. And we're like, oh, okay. I'll tell you what the product is. It's a portable bidet.
A what?
A portable bidet. Okay, or bidet, however you say it. Okay?
Yeah.
And I thought, who the hell would want this? Like, you have one in your toilet or you don't.
Oh,
but
many people
I guess, right, people who are used to it, if they go travel to hotels and they don't have that, they're missing it. And I never realized until like the ads launched yesterday. We're like, holy shit, this is the best thing that we've ever done. But that whole funnel is, we're running, again, conversion ads. So they're supposed to make a purchase to a landing page that puts their email to be able to reserve the Kickstarter product at 40% off. Okay, so we get their email, but then to actually reserve it, they have to do a $1 deposit afterwards. And this deposit is just on a Shopify store. Okay, so at the end of the day, there's still conversion ads for some dollar value, but we capture the email at the very first step. Okay, make sense? So and then the whole thing, and then we have that email list, and we blast out when they launch the product, et cetera, and right, that's how it goes. So, but
I think there's a good business in email campaigns too. But I think yours is probably better because it's more impulsive, it's more emotional, so people react to it quicker.
Okay, I will. Yes, that's exactly true, right? Email will have a longer, I want to say lag time. I think there's a better term for it, but really longer lag time between someone clicking, entering their email, and then making the first purchase, right?
Yeah.
And
but if you can automate that,
it will be automated. It will be automated. But I mean, you're not looking for someone to click, put their email in, and make a purchase like an hour later, right?
No.
Whereas
not at all.
with paid ads and paid traffic, the systems that we run is to make an initial purchase right away, right?
Yeah.
That's what we scale on, right?
Yeah.
So these are cool funnels to explore, right? Like the email one is probably going to work fantastic, right? It just right now it's not in our core offering. It's not what we use to grow stores. But when you're at a good healthy level in your business, like 100K plus, and you're like, hey guys, I want to test $10,000 in ad spend off this funnel. Let's make it together. Hell yeah, why not? Right?
Yeah, but that's how I started making freebies and those funnels for email campaigns, but I never sat down and actually made the email campaigns, and then it's worth nothing.
Yep.
So I had 3,000 subscribers just sitting there, not getting any newsletters.
So we don't do that. So I can't tell you how strong 3,000 is. I have no idea. I don't know if that's good or bad. I literally have no idea. I don't know what percentage will convert, like nothing, right? So that's what I'm saying.
They say about 3 to 5% will convert into a sale.
And you still need to test, right? Because the other thing is yours is high ticket stuff, right?
Yeah.
3 to 5% is usually lower ticket stuff, right? Because it's easy. There's less friction to make the purchase, right?
Yeah.
So, but this is stuff that we'll absolutely, like, if you want to do it, we would love to explore. But after we build you on proven systems that we know, make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just because the whole point of everything that we do is what I want to do is just build a strong moat around your business so that it can withstand changes in, I don't know, customer behavior, like anything kind of environmentally going on. Just so you have a strong, solid foundation. Okay?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is actually like a good segue into how we do the media buying. The media buying is actually running the ads. Okay? Now, before I go into that, do you have any questions about the ad creation process, or does that make sense?
I trust you because I've been studying so many different things, so I can sense that.
You can see the info, you can compare it, right? It's not like you're completely blind. Okay.
No, not at all. I can see that the technical setup that you're setting up makes totally sense because it also aligns with what I would like as a business person.
Yep. And this is how I approach all businesses, right? Like with just going back with RebelFit.io, which is my high ticket fitness company. I grew that. Like I built it with Tom, who's now our creative director, right? We got him back in because I love working with him. He's great. We built the.
How many people are you actually all together?
High level is me, Phil, Tom, and we have a couple of kind of senior media buyers who run the ads for you, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes Phil does it himself. It just kind of depends on what's going to give you the best chance of success. And then we have graphic designers and video editors and all like that, like the kind of the team under us. But the highest level is me, Phil, Tom, and then we have Filipino virtual assistants, but they have perfect English, and they're not the ones doing the work for you. They do admin tasks for us.
Yeah, right? But you need a lot of those as well, whether they're Filipino or they're this or that. It depends on who works well with you.
Filipino is actually
otherwise it's too expensive.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Right. But we have Floor, who's our like executive virtual assistant. She helps with all the high level tasks for me and Phil. And then we have Zira, and she just works under Floor, and she does all the admin tasks, like for you, like collecting all your assets and giving it to putting in the proper G drive for us to then access, or like telling the video editors once all the stuff's been uploaded, so they can start the work according to Tom's instructions, that sort of thing. Right.
And how many have you given on to other sub delivery people afterwards?
So about 5.
Because you've only existed for a year, so I don't know how many you guys have shipped on.
Let me show you something, okay? And then you'll understand.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, because that takes time also to find good people you can ship it on to, because you as you said, you want a long-term relationship.
Yeah. Let me show you. I'll show you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do a screen share.
And what about with Shopify, for instance? Shopify takes a certain percentage of the sales as well.
No, it's the payment processing fee from Shopify. It's not big.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to sign into Wave Apps, and this is our payment process. This is where we take payments as an agency. Okay? And here you can see the back end, like behind the scenes of our growth. Okay, that's what I want to show you and explain how it happened and all this sort of stuff. So, once it loads.
But what do you do, for instance, here in the beginning, if we're selling out of my stock, for instance, and people will get it, and then they find that the sizes are not right, and they're returning the garments. Do you then also go back on your fee in that sale, or do I lose out there? Or
no, I'll explain. Usually with apparel brands, what makes sense is if people are dissatisfied a little bit, like it's not quite the right size, or there's some blemish here or something. Instead of accepting the return, because when you're doing good volume and you're a big apparel brand, it's not efficient to accept returns. And for you too, you don't want to accept returns, right? What you want to do for them is say, hey, okay, how about I give you 15% off? Like I just refund you 15% and you keep it. Most people say yeah. And then you still, absolutely.
But what if it doesn't fit?
If it doesn't fit at all, then they might still say yeah. Or they might say, no, I want to return. And then you're okay, I'll take the return. You have to pay for shipping. And then it just flats cost, right? They pay for shipping back, and you put the product, and you just, iron it, wash it, and you can sell it again. Right?
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So that's all, right? But I don't think returns are going to be a big issue for you when you have very high quality stuff.
No, but it's about, for me, it's about, that the measurements, because some of the things that I have on stock are specially made and fit. So you can't 100% compare them to normal standard sizes.
That's fine. We want to, for your brand, for like apparel brand in general, every single product page, we want to give specific like measuring instructions for that product itself, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be different on every page, and that's going to be one of the most important elements to have on every single product page for us that we make for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Like what's that little statue? Is it a mannequin behind you? Is it called a mannequin?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So I was talking to just one acquaintance of mine. He has multiple they're like drop shipped apparel brands, right? Doing many millions of dollars a month. He said the best thing to do for measurements is do them on the mannequin so that they're correct, not like when the garment's laying flat or whatever, and then it matches up, and then he has like no issues with returns. That was like his one hint little insider to me. Okay, I'm sure you know this stuff better, right? But it's just as like here's my thinking. As long as the sizing information is very clearly stated on each product page, right?
Then
and
you
it's
can
specific,
say, I don't want it back.
yeah, but if it's specific to each product, right? And it's not just generic. Okay, here and then some products not quite like that, and some is, right? If it's specific to each product, then the customer will make the effort to actually pick the right size. Make sense? It just as long as that information is there and clearly visible on the product page, that's very important. It can't be hidden away under like a pop-up or you have to drop down to see it or something like that. It has to be front and center.
Yeah.
Okay? Because that's the big inefficiency with apparel brands, right? It's a sizing thing when they're buying online. They can't try it on. Right?
Yeah.
So we have to get proper sizing for every single product. That's on you to give us those stats, and then we put it on each product page. Okay.
Yeah, that's time consuming, but obviously I can do that.
But if you have 15 right products that we're selling, and then you do for whatever how many sizes you have for each, like I'll take it.
But it's more the stock part.
Okay.
That's stickier.
Yeah.
But obviously.
But here's what we can do with the stuff that you say you want to clear the inventory of, right? We can put on a post-purchase upsell, and we can say no returns, like it's like clearance sale.
Yeah.
On that item itself, right?
Yeah.
And then we just clear that inventory, right?
Yeah.
That easy.
Yeah, and people can also say, put up your measures, and we'll check our garments whether they would fit you.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do something like that because then I don't have to measure everything beforehand for the website, but saying you put in what size you want and what measures you are, we will check it up before we ship it to you and return with the answer to what the measure is or something.
I think that's going to be more inefficient.
Okay.
I think to start, if we're doing 15 products, how many sizes does each one have?
I go from size 34 to 54.
Sorry, but anyway, so how would you do the sizing? Like for one product that has those size ranges, do you just kind of how much work is it for you to get all the sizing information properly off a mannequin for a single product?
For the 15 or for the 10 sizes, I already have the measurements that I asked my production place to produce them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they should follow those measurements. So I already have it in an Excel sheet.
Oh, then what's then we have no problem.
No.
Okay.
It's more the stock, which would be for me energetically really nice to get rid of because there's a lot of money there,
and for
that
stuff
would create money to pay you and to build up the whole thing.
Yeah, and we'll do something like on the post-purchase upsell or through emails even we say, hey, this is clearance sale, these are the final items in stock, there's no returns on them. The sizing is just like, whatever we can say for the sizing, that's what the sizing is, right? Yeah. We don't accept returns because it's on this huge discount. It doesn't have to be a huge discount, right? Or you can even increase the original price and make the discount look like it's 40%, right? But it ends up being kind of like close to your original sale price.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, okay, let me show you this. This is directly what you asked. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is Wave. This is the dashboard where we take payments, right? So like if we sign you, I go here, I create new invoice, and blah blah blah, right? There. So we started, if you can see these numbers, back in March. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, $3,395. That's what we collected in March. It was a $3,500 deal. Okay. So this is first month of signing clients, and then it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months for us as an agency to cross 100,000. Okay, and then I did not expect this when I started. Right, I was like hoping it'd do well, but I did not expect stuff like this. Okay, and then it was 6, 7, 8 to get to 400,000. This 400,000 number is off those 13 to 15 clients who we signed over this period, who then we were able to get the ad spend from them, because that's also sometimes an issue, right? Get enough ad spend from them, scale their stores, and then we're taking 10%. Okay, 10 to 15, whatever it averages out, right? So this year, 4,400K that we made in November was off 13 to 15 clients, right? Somewhere around there, getting 10% of the sales that we brought them, okay? And then all of this year was, here I was building some more systems for like greater efficiency inside the agency, and we signed some more like very, very high potential clients over this time, built their systems, and then this level of scale here, we jumped up to 600, 700, or almost 700K. This is off about 17 to 20 total clients, 13 to 15 active clients, okay? So the ones here who are kind of inactive by us, but still, under our umbrella, are the guys who we scaled here to a good level. They're happy. And then over this time, we found a high level person for them, hired them. We pay that person, we do all the systems, everything's flowing, and that's how it goes. Okay?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to show you that because that's like kind of behind the scenes of, and this is how I grew the business. right?
Yeah.
And I can imagine if I was doing like the other model where it's like $2,000 retainer and 85% of clients disappear, and I have to have a sales team of like 20 people doing calls that are 30 minutes each because it's like just rapid fire, right? I'd much rather have strong conversations like this than like, if you like it, you sign on, right? You got no pressure from me.
Also because it's more fun growing together on a long term.
Absolutely.
Because then you put a lot of investment in time and understanding each brand and its personality that you sell of the brand.
Exactly. That's literally exactly. That's what I'm going to tell you further down the line, like later on in the call. I'm going to say something very similar. But okay, so the ad creation makes sense for you, yeah?
Totally.
Now, I will say this, okay? At the very start, because we have absolutely no data in the ads manager, right? There's no pixel data, there's never been any sales, so we're just starting fresh, okay? We have to be very respectful of your money, and we are, okay? So with your ad spend, we want to be as efficient as possible with it. So while, like, what I'm thinking is we'll storyboard out the scenes, and then you will film them with your people there, okay? If you want to use our creators, we can, but I just think it's better for you to have that control, and I think you would like that, okay? But either way, we can do it either way, okay? But the storyboards for the UGC will get all the raw footage, and then we'll be able to make the asset library, right? At the start, we will test some UGC ads, but probably not all of them, because the video ads require a much higher testing budget to know if they're going to be successful or not, okay? So this is, like, I'm making up these numbers, but the correlation is about correct, okay? So let's say we're testing 5 static image ads, just static images, like not a GIF, right? So just 5 image ads. It might cost you $5 to put behind each one before you know if it's going to work or not, okay? Whereas if we're going to test 5 UGC ads, it might cost you $50 behind each one before you know whether it's going to work or not, okay? So at the
UGC ad is the video.
The video ads, right?
You need to know the English terms for everything.
Yep. UGC stands for user-generated content, right?
Yeah.
So it's the ad that looks like someone just loves the product and made a video about it. Okay?
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because a static image ad, that just people scroll through, doesn't take up that much time or space. Whereas a video, someone has to open it, play it through, it takes up a lot, so they're more expensive to deliver. Okay?
But don't they convert better as well?
They convert better at the end, right? So your highest...
I'm very strong. I can see with my customer, they react very strongly to my videos. So
the UGC ads will always give you the best return on ad spend, the highest ROI, okay? But at the very start, what makes more sense, okay? Spending $250 here to test 5 ads, or spending $25 here and doing this 10 times to test 50 different ads, okay?
But what if I have, for instance, I have 3 videos that you know, usually my videos, they show, let's say, 800 times.
Mm-hmm.
Just to come up with a realistic number of how it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have 3 videos that was shown 15,000 times.
Yep.
Because they kind of took on.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. At the start, we will want to test like some videos, but just
because then I could show you the 3 or 4 that went 15,000 to find out what is it about these ones that make
exactly, and we can analyze that.
From my brand.
Perfect. That's brilliant, right? But my only point is this: when we start, don't be disappointed. For example, if we're running the majority static image ads. Okay?
Yeah,
we'll still make the footage for you. The video ads will be ready, right? But we might not run them at the start just to be more efficient with your money. Okay?
Yeah, but I also think the statistic, the stats can probably, you can read more out of them because then you figure out, they like, she smarts like this,
100%.
or does like this, or
100%. 100%, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, there'll be a mix, right? There'll be static image ads, there'll be video ads. The video ads require more budget to test them all the way through. Okay?
Yeah.
That's the only consideration. Okay? Now, let me explain how the media buying strategy then. Okay? And how that works. Because once you have this, I think you'll understand why I was saying about the video ads, static image ads, all this sort of stuff. Okay? So basically, there's 3 main platforms we run ads on. It's TikTok, Google, and Facebook. Facebook, Instagram. Okay, simple.
You don't do any Pinterest or?
We can do Pinterest if it makes sense, right? Pinterest is great.
I just can see that there's, I made a few Pinterest things. I never did anything there, just for my own private sake.
Yep.
And I was thinking, hey, maybe there's a potential here, but I have no idea.
Pinterest does have potential.
It's easy to repeat some of the things there, maybe. I don't know.
Then I'll explain Pinterest as well. Okay?
Yeah.
But basically, remember I said I love growing businesses. So at the start, this is what you really decide with Phil.
So you should go where the core is.
Right? Yeah. So, but let me walk you through all those platforms so you understand what's in my head about them. Okay?
Yeah.
So TikTok, number 1. TikTok, just so you know, we're not going to touch it until you cross $100,000 months. Okay. TikTok gives you very, very high quality and low cost traffic. Okay.
Yeah.
But
as it is now.
right. But TikTok is very, very volatile day over day. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like wild extreme swings. I'm going to exaggerate a little bit, but like not by that much. You could be up $9,000 one day, down $7,000 the next, break even the rest of the week, and you made $2,000 that week. Week after, you can flip down 9K, up 7K, break even, and then you're down 2K that week. Okay. Now, month over month, it is consistent, but day over day, it's like this. So your business has to have sufficient cash flow from other sources to be able to sustain this and absorb these fluctuations. Okay. For me, if a brand's coming to me and they're doing a call like this, I want at least $50,000 in revenue for them consistent on the other platforms if we're going to do TikTok. For you, the reason I said 100 is because on the other platforms, we can scale you to 100 very consistently. There's no point just artificially stop at 50 and then add TikTok in. Right? We want to get you all the way up, right? So 100 plus. Okay. TikTok as a platform values two things as well. One is novelty, the other is originality. Okay, they sound similar, but they're a little bit different. So originality means it's footage that's never been seen anywhere else online before. So brand new footage, right?
Yeah.
Novelty means it's something that's new to the platform. Okay. So we get originality by filming all the footage ourselves, right? It's all brand new footage, right? But novelty means that the best performing ad on TikTok will only last maximum 3 or maybe 4 weeks. And after that, it literally just dies, falls off a cliff and dies. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how we get around that is because we have that underlying ad structure that we can just sub a clip in, new ad, sub a clip in, new ad, move it around, new ad, right? That's how we get around TikTok's need for novelty, okay? That's how we get consistency on TikTok. Now, Facebook, let me go to Facebook next, okay? Facebook is where I really love growing businesses, especially like starting brands like yours, because it gives you the most predictable revenue over time, and it's very consistent, okay? So on Facebook, when every ad account is different, that's why I'm gonna give you a range. But on Facebook, when you have a collection of ads that are bringing between $50,000 and $25,000 of profitable revenue into your store, those ads will just keep performing indefinitely, okay? With minimal touch points from you or us or anybody. Like 2-3 times a week, you just check in and see they're working, that's it, okay? So this is why on Facebook, when you start scaling, the ads on Facebook will continue to perform 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years more, okay? Now, that does not mean they perform forever. There is ad fatigue, it kicks in eventually, all this sort of stuff, right? But it gives you a very strong base. So that's Facebook. The other things on Facebook, when you have those winners that are running, the daily fluctuations are very small. They're like maybe 10 to 15%, right? So that allows you to make projections, to order inventory, to be like, okay, this month we're just chilling at our current ad spend, next month we're going to continue to scale. Like, it's very, very strong control over the revenue coming into your business, right? It's all very clean, very logical, okay? Now, I'll go into the media buying strategy after I explain all the platforms, okay? So next one is Google. Google is great because Google can give you a sky-high return on ad spend, and that's just standard. So like Google, if we run Google ads, you can get 10x, 15x, 20x ROAS, right? So 10x, you put $1 and you get $10 out, right? 20x, 120, whatever. But Google's thing is that they have something called PMax, Performance Max. I'm sure if you've been browsing, you've heard of it, right? It's their kind of discovery algorithm for where they show the ads and all this. It takes 3 months to fully optimize. So on Google, we have to set stuff up correctly, and then we have to launch it. We have to wait 1, 2, 3, and only in month 4 can we actually look at the metrics and see what's going on. Now, that's not to say that month 1, 2, and 3 are not profitable. Usually they are, but it's only in month 4 that you know what level of profitability you actually have. Okay? Now, Google, again, very high return on ad spend. So again, if you get 10x, 15x, 20x on Google, I would not bat an eye, but it's not scalable. Okay? On Google, there's...
But then it's consistent instead.
Yes. But on Google, there's always a ceiling, and you don't know what that ceiling is until you hit it. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. Let's say to do PMax, you need $500 minimum a month. Okay? If you give $500, that's enough for it to find the audience over the 3 months. Okay?
Yeah.
So let's say we're spending $500 a month on Google, and in month 4, we get 10x ROAS, right? Just to keep numbers easy. So 500 in, $5,000 out. You're like, great, let's up it to 600 next month. 600 in, $6,000 out. You're like, great, it's up to 700. 700 in, $7,000 out. You're like, oh, great, it's really working. It's up to 1,000. $1,000 in, and guess what? Same $7,000 out. So that's your ceiling. You hit it. You can't get past it. But that's your $700 in times 10, 7,000 out. That's just what you're going to get each month from Google. Nice, consistent revenue at a very high return ad spend, right?
That's smart business plan from Google, isn't it? Because then they make sure there's customer for everybody.
It's actually, well, I wish it was like
taking over the world in a certain area.
What it really is because it's based on keyword search volume, and we can't influence it, right? So there's only so many people searching for the stuff that matches your brand each month, right? That's why there's a ceiling. That's why it's not infinitely scalable, right?
Yeah.
But it gives very, very strong, like, just additional revenue stream, okay? Now, Facebook, Instagram is how we're going to scale your store, okay? What the strategy is for, like, proper media buying, this is that long-term perspective that you were saying, that this is great for me, okay, is like this. When you're running ads, and it doesn't matter what platform you're on, like, let me talk about Pinterest quickly first, okay?
Yeah, and what about Instagram? You put that under
Facebook, Instagram, same.
Yeah.
Okay. I just don't like Meta, so it's a creepy term for me. Right? I just like calling it Facebook. But yeah, it's Facebook, Instagram together. But okay, Pinterest very quickly. Pinterest is very, very interesting because it's 70% women. Okay, so your target demographic is on there, right?
Yeah.
There's not that much advertising activity on there, so your CPMs, just cost per 1,000 impressions, are much lower than anywhere else. But the thing about Pinterest is this: if you apply the TikTok media buying strategy, the Facebook media buying strategy to Pinterest, you will fail. Because, and I know this because I was talking to someone who actually runs inside Pinterest 2 years ago, runs their ad platform, okay? So this is a unique insight that, here you go, right? Every platform has its nuances, intricacies, I'll tell you what it is. So on Pinterest, when you launch ads, okay, they go into a 4-day learning phase where they're literally shown to random people who have no relevance whatsoever to your buyers. And then once it does that, and like exhausts that, it's 3 days after where it's trying to show it to your audience, okay? So it's a 7-day overall time frame from when you launch. If you make any changes to the ad within these first 7 days, it restarts back to day 0, okay? So when people try, because on TikTok, you're making changes by the hour. On Facebook, by the day, okay?
Yeah.
And when you set up your Pinterest account, you go in there and the ad manager looks exactly the same as the others, you just assume, it's, I make changes like, 1 day data is bad, so I gotta adjust, and if you make any change, like even if you have like a typo in the title and you change it, right? It goes back to day 0. And most people never get out of the 7-day learning and showing phase because they just don't know, and they keep making changes, right? If on day 5 my ads are performing on Facebook, of course you turn them off, right? On Pinterest, you can't until after day 7, right? So, and Pinterest never doesn't advertise this anywhere, it doesn't tell anybody, so, right? So that's how you do Pinterest. In terms of specifics, right, on Pinterest, that's something to discuss with Phil, because he's much more in the weeds of actual media buying. Like, Phil does the actual media buying for some of our brands, okay? For some of our clients, especially when they're like the active clients. And then we get another media buyer in, and Phil can, can do kind of high level business stuff. I'm very much high level strategy on everything, okay? So Phil can talk about Pinterest specifically when you meet him and do onboarding, but right. So for exact specifics, but I do think Pinterest has potential because it's 70% women, and advertising costs are going to be lower by default, especially also because you're in Europe, right? Advertising costs in Europe are much lower than they are in the States, right? Most of our clients are in the States because there's less competition in Europe, right? So when you go on Pinterest, which has no competition in the first place, and then you go into Europe, which has even less competition, right? You should be able to get very, very cheap converting traffic, right? So that's Pinterest. But back to Facebook, and again, this is overall what I'm going to talk about now is the same strategy on TikTok, Pinterest, and Facebook, okay?
And can I ask you, LinkedIn? Do you have any experience with LinkedIn?
Never done. And LinkedIn is like professional stuff, right, too? I have no idea.
Yeah, because I know most of my females are professionals in, executives.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think, maybe LinkedIn. But LinkedIn, I was told, is very expensive.
Yeah, I have no, again, that can be something to explore, because the systems I'm talking through now, we can consistently scale it to 100K plus, right? Yeah. And how it works,
LinkedIn,
so you understand, it's like this. Basically, this is high level for you, okay? We have to build you a bunch of stuff, okay? And all this stuff runs and works together to get you revenue, okay? As we're start from zero, at the start, we have very little stuff. We have no stuff right now, right? On this call, we have no stuff to start with, right? Then we have a little bit of stuff. We have like your assets, and we get like whatever pictures you send us, and we start making footage and all this, and then we start running ads, and it goes more and more and more, okay? So how scale works from our side to 100K is we're just expanding the amount of stuff that you have for your brand up to around that 100K mark, Okay, and around 100K, you have this bunch of stuff. We can then take this and duplicate it. One time, maybe 1.5. So you can get from 100 to about 2 to 250. Okay, going past that, we have to do this whole build from scratch. So you have to build up another, right, something new for your brand to go from 0 to 100K. Then we can dupe it to 200, maybe 250. And then on the two of them,
you have all the basic knowledge from the previous one.
Well, it's really yes and no, because it's almost like a new client brand is coming on, because we have to build something new, right? But something new can be like just a different product we never advertised before for you. Okay, so it's like, but the whole point is it's always us building structures and systems around products you give us or brands that come in, right? And that's the build. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that's on our side. On your side, there's different thresholds. Obviously, in my experience, generally when we scale people from small numbers to big numbers, 10K is the first threshold. We're like, oh, okay, like shit's getting serious. I gotta like take better care of my back-end logistics. Then 30 to 50K is kind of the next level where they have to get a little better systems involved. And then around 100K, they really have to have like very strong systems. But once those are in place, they can scale past that. They just get more people in. Systems exist. Okay. So from client side,
if you're able to make money alongside,
of course you're making money.
Then you also earn more, that you can invest more.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Right. People are scared to invest too. Like you'll see that. I mean, I don't know if you'll see that, but like I've discovered.
But it's also because you've been running a company for so many years, and for me, it's been expensive already creating a brand.
Yep.
So it's not as if we haven't been investing.
Yeah.
It's just because when you're smaller, it's just not the same numbers.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when you have, for example, okay, here's what happened with RebelFit.io. I grew it, so yeah, I don't know how that story, I got sidetracked, but quick story was this. I built the inner world, which is what clients would get, for like 1.5 years with Tom, because I wanted to be the best thing in the world, right? Literally. Because if I'm a very proud guy, so like my face behind something, I want to be best in the world, okay? So it took us 18 months to actually build all this stuff, but when I started outbound, organic, in 6 weeks, we got from 0 to $100,000 contracted months. Collected was, I don't know, 40 to 60, right?
Yeah.
40 to 60 collected, and then contracts, people sign contracts for the deals, they were put on payment plans, whatever, okay? We had 3 months of that, June, July, August 2021. My whole strategy was, okay, I do this organic as much as possible because I only had a certain audience, and once I exhausted that audience, that was it, right, for organic. But my whole plan was, okay, get this money in, right, off organic, so there's like, there's cost of running the business, there's no advertising costs, build up a war chest, and then use that to start running paid traffic and grow the business like that. Because again, paid traffic is X dollars in, Y dollars out, right? And RebelFit.io was fully, like every single piece was fully modulated to handle $1 million months. And that's what I fucking wanted. And that's what I was like, hey, ads will get us there. But my thing was, like, they were gonna get us there, but then bam. Then they were gonna, and then bam. Then they were, and then bam, right? And in the fitness space, in the high ticket space, nobody deals with this issue, right? And the only advice, like, oh, use a friend's business account, use a brother's, Facebook ad account. And I'm like, well, I tried all that, I'm still getting banned. Okay, and I wasn't breaking any rules, right? That was the most annoying thing. I was like, Facebook, I want you to take my fucking money, right? Like, use it. But they were banning me. And like, it was 8 months of that where I was bankrolling the company, like all the expenses myself personally, because my expenses were, I think max like 25K a month. And I was getting them down over those 8 months to pay for the whole team, to have the team ready to handle $1 million fucking months, right? But yeah, after 8 months, we threw in the towel. So okay, this is impossible. Like, we keep getting banned. And at the same time, like right after, I got into some Discord server where there were ecom people, and they were talking about bans. And I was like, holy shit! So I'm not the only one. So then I dove all in there, right? And that's where actually I met Phil, because what Phil was doing is he was selling what he calls, because in ecom you always deal with these bans, okay? And if you build a business off, like, you have your business manager, you have your ad account, you have your page, and you have a profile using the page. That's your current structure right now on Facebook, right? If any of that goes down for any reason, and Facebook is so finicky, they can just take it down for no reason, right? Your whole business dies, right? And you have no backup. And the only way to get it back up is try to talk to support, and support doesn't give a shit, right? It might take 6 months, right? So what Phil was doing is he was in addition to his e-com thing, he was selling bulletproof Facebook infrastructures. Okay, and he was charging, I don't know, 5 to 7K for initial setup, plus whatever monthly. But it was like he was giving you a network of different business managers, and then each business manager has multiple ad accounts inside, and every single ad account is like dozens of pages, and then every single page has hundreds of profiles attached to it. and they're all under your control, but they're all completely separate entities. Okay? So when we run ads for clients, for example, your basic structure is Facebook Business Manager to the ads manager to the page to a profile accessing the page. Okay? This stuff that goes through it gets collected on your pixel. Okay? We take that pixel and we copy the data to an external pixel here, always, as a backup. Okay? If any of this goes down, what we then do is, because we have those other backups behind it, right? The business managers, ad accounts, et cetera, right? We copy this pixel to another pixel, so this one always stays like isolated, safe, right? To another pixel, we put that pixel into this other structure, and we can get you back up and running within 24, 48 hours. Okay? So this like backup redundancy, we just by default, I don't even know if we tell people anymore that we do it, but we just do it for all our brands because that has to be in place, because you can't be at the mercy of Facebook randomly banning your account without breaking any rules and your whole business collapses and dies. Especially if we're stealing.
All the data that you got there, yeah.
Right? So like that's another thing we do because we have to, because that's the only way to like guarantee that this is going to work long term and be sustainable. Okay? All make sense so far? I'm giving you a lot of information. Yeah?
Yeah, it's
okay.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's also what I was thinking about, and that's what people are going on about email campaigns, because probably that they are shutting down, and then you're losing all this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we collect emails of every single purchaser anyway, and that's how we build your email list. Okay. Now, okay, so let me talk about media buying and the right strategy there for this. Okay. So when you're running ads, there's basically two buckets that ads fall into. It's your winners bucket, and winners are ads that are above your break-even return on ad spend. And then there's your testing bucket. And testing is you just testing to find winners. Okay. Now, your break-even return ad spend is, you know, if you put $1 in and you get 1x ROAS and you get $1 out, you lose money because you have product costs. Okay. So I don't know what yours is. It depends, you know, what your margins are for each product. But let's say for the sake of simplicity, it's 1.5. Okay. So you put $1 in, $1.5 out to be break-even. You're not at a loss. You're not at a gain. Okay. So
Hang on a second.
Yep.
No, just goodbye. Sorry. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no problem. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we start running ads on a new ad account or a new platform or anything, all the ads that we put are in the testing bucket. Okay, we have no winners yet. Now, the systems that we put together and the way we do ads and the customer avatar research gives you the highest chance of success as quickly as possible. But no matter what, it still requires time and budget. Okay, testing budget and time. You can't force feed either. You can't speed run either. Like I had one client recently, they signed on and the guy was like, hey Ed, I'm gonna give you $30,000 the first week, burn it. I don't care, but then week 2, scale and run the winners from that 30K. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. Like, better give me a 30K over a month, or if you want really strong winners, you know, over 2 months, right? Because that's that time factor. Now, if he was gonna give me $30,000 every week, that's fine, right? But he wanted to just, you know, front load the budget, get all the winners, and then scale them. It doesn't work that way, okay? So it's a matter of budget and time. So when we start testing, okay, just statistically, the bigger performing ads that give you a higher return on ad spend are more rare. So they will take statistically longer to find. Okay. So I'm going to give you right now like the worst case scenario, and this is like the expected trajectory. And whenever it so happens that it's better, most cases it is better, right? You're just happy. Okay. So it goes like this. Let's say 1.5 is your break even. We start testing ads, and the first ads we find are, you know, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8. Okay. What people do in drop shipping is 1.5 is their break even. They find ads at 1.6, so $1 in, $1.60 out, 10 cents profit of every dollar in, and they take this and scale it to $50,000 months. And again, it's like, well, what the hell are you doing? Like they just have to that short term, a little gain, right? You get a couple hundred, like I don't know what you get in profit even. It's like 10 cents profit of every dollar you put in. That's not a business, right?
And a lot of stuff can go really wrong.
Exactly, right? So what we do is this, okay? When we're testing, it depends what you're comfortable with. But in general, like I'll tell you kind of general first level of scale, if 1.5 is your break even and we have ads at 1.8, let's take that and scale it to some small level. Let's say $5,000 a month, okay? So we scale those and you have $5,000 a month in revenue coming in every single month, right? Consistently, not huge profits, $1 in, 30 cents profit out, right? But every single day you're profitable. What that does is it buys you time to do more testing. As we do more testing, we find bigger winners. So let's say next one is 2.5, right? Good, that's $1 in, $1 profit out. Okay, let's take that, scale to 10,000. Now you have $10,000 in revenue at 2.5, 5,000 at 1.8. Okay, meantime, we're doing more testing. Testing. Then we find 3.5, 4.5, let's say we find 5, right? Take those 5, scale to $30,000 a month, right? So then you have $30,000 at 5, right? 10,000 at 2.5, and 5 at 1.8. And at this point, you can cull the 1.8, the lower performing ones, right? Now, obviously, it's much more like, granular when we're doing it in real life. These are just kind of broad, like high level examples, but that's the strategy, right? We're always consistently adding more and more winners at higher profitability, so bigger ROAS, to increase like both your revenue and your profits, okay? And this is what a good sustainable build looks like. Now, here's the other thing, because I'm sure you're in this for long-term big success, right? Like, okay, talking to me so far, what do you think is the monthly potential of your business? Or what would you like to get to? What would be a good number for you, direct to consumer, in terms of revenue per month?
For the regular consumer?
No, for the direct to consumer. So on your Shopify store, like how much, having talked through all this and like listened to me so far, like what would you be happy with at a first like good threshold of monthly revenue?
Yeah, because I would probably look at it over a year and then thinking, okay, I would take it in steps up and up and up. But I mean, 4 or 5 days ago, I was sitting down and thinking, okay, what is it I want to? How do I want to grow in my company, and what will I start working on to make that happen? And to start with, I was thinking, okay, my revenue at the moment, revenue is what you sell for, or what is
everything coming in. So it's what you sell for, yeah.
It's what you sell for, yeah. Because as it is now, it's around 50 to 100. Let me see, how much is that in
US.
US. Oh. That's it. Well, that can be. It's around. Could that be around 40,000? 14.
14? Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Actually, yeah.
That's how it is now, and I mean, this is my, like my slow pace average, just on my own, and I'm not putting any effort in at all. That's just money coming without doing anything.
Yep.
And then I was scaling it up until that I was saying, okay, same time next year, I would like it to be 5 times as high.
Good. Okay. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So 70K. Yeah. 70 to 80. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Good numbers.
And thinking it's pushing it hard, and I get a little bit sweaty thinking about how the hell am I going to do it?
Because
but I'm thinking that's where I want to go.
Here's the thing. Based on your experience, that might seem okay. That's super fast. But this is direct to consumer ads. When ads are working, you can scale it as quick. Like the only restriction is how much ad spend you have to put in, right?
Yeah.
So
after talking to you now, I'm thinking actually this could happen faster.
It absolutely does, right? It does. It's okay. I'll give you an example with Phil again, right? So it's all cash flow. It's a cash flow business, right? So with Phil, I have to sneeze. For his stores, he never put up more than $5,000 in ad spend initial. Okay, so he put up $5,000 in ad spend, and he would get the winners there, and on those winners, like he would get sales, he would pay his suppliers, right, pay the shipping, and all the profits would go right back into ads. He wouldn't take anything out. That's why he was able to grow it to 100K in about 30, 45 days. Okay, because all the profits went back into ads to scale them faster and faster. Okay, so his initial outlay was just $5,000, and off that $5,000, there's cash flow, and you get more and more and more, and then you get to the 100K months. Okay, so the only impediment to scale is once you have winners, is how much of your profits you're willing to put back in, right? Or how much, I don't know, if you have savings somewhere, how much of that you want to put in. If you have a credit card, how much of that you want to put in. But it's very safe because it's predictable, because the numbers are right there, and you can make projections on the numbers, right?
Yeah.
So scale can happen very quickly, okay? In most cases it does. It looks like an overnight success, but it's not, and this is what I want to get to, okay? So if you understand this strategy of how we're adding bigger and bigger revenue streams at higher and higher profitability margins, okay?
Yeah.
But the thing is this, media buying is never linear. It's never straight up, okay? It's more like this, flatline, okay? Because we start testing, and we're testing, we have a winner here. We're testing, have another winner here. Testing, have another winner here, okay? We don't take one winner right away and scale it, because that's extremely fragile, okay? So I think I talked about this before a little bit, but the fragility comes from this. Any ad has a ceiling where if you hit that ceiling and bypass it, it can literally collapse and crash and die. Okay.
And then you've got nothing else.
If you have one ad, and let's say the ceiling is here, okay, and this is my one ad, right? And I try to scale and push it up, right? When I get to the ceiling, the money I'm making is whatever the area is under this graph, so to speak, right? So it's this much. But if I take this area and distribute it across 4 ads, then I have to scale them just up to here, and I have so much more room before I'm ever in threat of hitting the ceiling, right? This is strong. So this is why when we have single ads, we don't scale. We want to have a collection of ads that we scale, right? So again, it depends on every single brand.
I think you find even more similarities between the four.
100%, 100%, right? So it's like, it depends on the ad account, on the brand, on what the owner is comfortable with, all that sort of stuff. But let's say 5 to 10 ads. We want to have 5 to 10 ads at least before we push the gas and scale them, right? And that's our initial winners bucket, okay? And the
also
rest is...
because I also need to catch up on you as
orders
well
and everything.
Get the back thing in check as well, because even though I've had a lot of experience with it, it's different.
This is going to be different for you, yeah. But I think it's also exciting, right? I think it's cool,
very much,
right? So, but
because I'm also thinking if we start like this, then and I mean, you're investing your time, and then we'll have to talk about how much I'm able to invest in all this testing, of course, and what's profitable in what pace.
I'll
that's
explain.
where also to hear where is it interesting for you, because if I'm, and then because I was thinking this is the, my goals was for the first year, but then obviously I'm going for a much bigger. I have another bigger, much bigger number in mind, but where I thought I need to create this stable part first, because with the experience I have with what products works and which doesn't, then obviously I would like to sit down and start designing. I'm doing the same as you're doing. I'm just doing with design, saying, okay, these ones were selling this much. What's the comparable with them? I need to design more in this type. And I would love to do that. But then I don't want to do it before I can scale it, because I know this will be my best sellers. And I really want to make a lot of money out of those, because I've spent my whole life creating them,
Like, this is great, because here's the other thing. Like, honestly, the biggest value proposition that we offer clients, aside from like making the money, right? It's a given, is that we just free up your time to focus on parts of the business that you love doing, right? While we handle the entire marketing side. Right?
Where I have my talent, where I'm strong, and where I can beat everybody else.
That's the synergy, right? Exactly. So with...
and then if you have your system in place and I get my new product in a year maybe ready, then that one you can kick off like crazy.
And then by then the other advantage is the ad account will have tons of data. So it doesn't require as much testing as at the start. Because at the start, Facebook is just searching for your audience, right? And they don't, because again, every ad account is different. So we can't, if every ad account performed the same, then it'll be the easiest thing in the world to just go, look at winning ads, get the same product from China, literally copy the ads, and then launch them to a product that to a store that looks exactly the same, just change blue to green or something, and you're a millionaire overnight, right? Every ad account is different. So this is the other thing. People don't realize this. The origin point affects how things run for you so much. And the origin point is your ad account on every single platform, right? So if you're a beginner and you've only had exposure to one ad account and you're trying to run ads, you have no idea which way the ad account is pointing. Whereas us, because we've had this vast array of experience, we can see right away, okay, this ad account, we have to go this way. On this one, we have to go this way, right? And that's at the start, when I learned about, not the age, like before, when I was doing all this media buying, right? That frustrated me so much that ad accounts would not perform the same. But now it's like an advantage, because now we have that experience and we can see, pattern recognition when we start running things. And then a year from now, we'll know exactly how your ad account performs. So we'll know exactly how to run stuff and exactly how to get winners without requiring a massive time delay for testing, right? But this is something very important, okay? If you want long-term growth, and I'm certain you do, right? And actual business sustainability, you always have to allocate a portion of your monthly ad budget to testing. Okay? Like, there's no way around this. A comfortable, like a really, really good number, and I don't know if you're comfortable with a number like this, but I'm just going to tell you, based on all my experience, this will give you the highest success possible. 20% of your ad budget per month goes into testing, 80% is into scaling winners. Okay? Now, at the end of the day, the numbers are all the same. If you look at what's my return overall ad spend, revenue divide by this, right? That's the return. But psychologically, it's so much better to think of it this way. Okay, 20% of my ad budget is on testing. This is R&D, research and development. I'm not expecting a return on this. Sometimes there is one, sometimes I'm break even, sometimes at a loss. I don't care, right? This is just R&D.
That's just pure costs.
Right? What's my return on the 80% here? Okay? And the point of running this is so we get higher and higher winners to take ads from here and throw it in here. then month over month, the return on the 80% will go up and up and up and up, right? But the whole point, again, this is just psychologically better for you as a business owner when you're looking at the numbers, right?
But the 20% goes up with the 80% going up.
The absolute number does, but the percentage of budget doesn't, right? And again,
but of course, your numbers will look better based on the 80% than if you did it on 100%.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. The numbers at the end there are exactly the same. Okay.
Because the 80% is also based on the 20% research.
Yeah.
So it should be
this
better.
is, but all I'm saying is when you approach it this way, you allow yourself to have a testing budget. Okay. Because like, I'll give you a direct example. We had a brand they signed on last start of July. They're obviously still with us. They were selling a hardware recovery device. Okay. And they came to us on a downtrend. And a downtrend for them would be like amazing for anyone else. They were doing $200,000 a month when they came to us. Okay. But the year before, they're doing $500K a month. Okay, and they couldn't figure out why. Now, what happened was they tested at the start, they launched their brand, did a lot of testing, had their winners, and scaled their winners to that 500K mark. And then they just ran the winners and kept putting more budget into winners and all this, right? And they had no coherent testing strategy or budget or anything. So what was happening over time was, again, it was all Facebook, right? So Facebook ads performed indefinitely, but not forever. So what was happening was those ads were hitting like ad fatigue because they just covered the entire first layer of the market, and their cost per acquisition, CPA, was going up and up and up and up. Okay, that's why their revenue was going down and down and down and down. Okay, so when they came to us, we did two things. One, I talked to them like, hey, we need to allocate a portion of your monthly budget to testing. Okay, because this is where you're going to get new winners. And we're starting now. You have no systems in place for proper testing, so there's a lag time before you see results of this, right? But again, this is why I want to tell you, if you never turn testing off, there's no lag time. You're constantly putting new winners into this 80%. Make sense? Okay, so we started testing with one, and two, we implemented a very, very aggressive post-purchase upsell funnel. Okay, and this was the one that I told you about, like 7 different offers for them because they were desperate. Okay, so from July when we started with them to November, December, we're around $730,000, $750,000. Now, obviously, that's Q4 and holidays and all this, it was a big boost, but that's what we got them to from 200. Okay. And then January this year, Q1 is always down, so it's like low 600s. Right now, they're again around that 700, 750 mark. And Q4 this year, we're looking to cross $1 million months for them. Okay? But here's the interesting thing. Their cost per acquisition kept going up and up and up until November. And in November, when they crossed $700,000 the first time, okay, their cost per acquisition was $100. And the thing they were selling was $90, $89.99. So they lost $10 on every single first sale. Okay, so their entire profits were in the post-purchase upsell funnel that we set up for them. And this was, again, super aggressive. It was 7 different offers that somebody had to click all the way through before they got their receipt. Okay, and the stupid thing is this, like they sell a hardware recovery device. Like you plug into old hard drives on old computers that can't boot on anymore, then into your new computer and you can transfer the data. Nobody needs more than one. No household ever needs more than one. The first purchase was, do you want another one? People were saying yes. That had the biggest take rate. Okay, that's the funny thing. But again, all their profits were in that post-purchase upsell funnel, and it was 30 to 35% profits in November, December, which for an e-commerce store is very good. Okay. The CPA has stayed at around 100 ever since then. Okay. Why? Because that's the lag time for the testing to have kicked in, and that's what we stabilized at. Does that make sense? So this is why testing is so important, because like Phil and I were in high-level e-com circles, so we have friends like acquaintances more like who have big brands and different niches, all this stuff, and we have our experience with our clients that we've grown, right? I just know that if you don't commit a portion of your budget to testing, you're going eventually you're going to stabilize and then slowly start creeping down, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Where's my business going? But if you commit that 20%,
but I see those 10 or 20% as you mentioned that you think is a good number.
Yeah.
I definitely see that of course you have to do that, but I think when you calculate the results,
you can calculate it anyway. You can do it.
Be a part of it because it is a cost.
No, it's exactly. It's literally it's just psychological difference. I prefer it this way. You might prefer looking at the overall thing. Right?
Yeah.
But the whole thing is this, like you're looking at
you should allocate a certain amount of your revenue to marketing.
Yeah.
Whether you spend 20% for testing or ads, whatever is necessary to get the result.
And keep going. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but this is just to understand that on the 20%, you're not expecting a return, right? Yeah. So if you count the whole ad spend, sometimes
if you expect on the 80%,
and the return on the 80% is going up and up. Here's why this psychologically is a little better. On the 80%, month over month over month, the return should be better and better and better. On the 20%, Sometimes you have a return. Sometimes you're at a loss. Sometimes you're break even. So if you combine all of this, these fluctuations kind of screw up the understanding of how this is doing. Make sense? That's the only thing, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. But what is your experience with those, the testing? Is it just money lost completely, 100%?
No,
or is it around zero?
No. Usually it's around break even or profitable, right?
Yeah.
You're just.
So what is it plus minus 10% even, around even? It depends.
It really just, this is why I set you up like this. I said I don't expect any return. It's your research and development, right?
Yeah.
That's all it really is.
I mean, return, it's fine to expect no returns on it, but it's a question about, is it usually, like shares, sometimes you lose everything and sometimes you get 100%.
You never lose everything, and you're usually at a profit, right? Because the other thing is this, remember how we're adding bigger and bigger revenue streams, and since we're continuing testing, we're finding bigger and bigger winners, right? So like when you're testing, we have 1.5 break even, we have ads at 1.6, 1.7, 1.82. We don't even look at those, right? But they're still there in that testing budget. So usually it's about break even or above break even, right? But just again, psychologically expect, right? That's all. And then look at what the 80% is doing, because that's direct improvements in the whole strategy, because you're plugging in the winners from the testing into the winners bucket, right? And that's how the business will grow. Okay? Make sense? This is just very, very important for me to say upfront so that you know what to expect. Right?
And I expect it also depending on who you're talking to and how much people know about the systems and scaling.
This like the 20%, it's a very high number, right? That's why I give it to you up front. Like people aren't comfortable in most cases with 20%.
No, but for me, I've always had, if you put $1 in and get 5 out, of course you want to scale that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right?
I mean, what's not to like?
So. But okay, does that make sense how we approach? Okay, this is the other thing I want to say. Okay, when I said media buying is not linear, and I also said it looks like an overnight success. The reason it looks like an overnight success is because of this. When we're testing, we have winner here, winner here, winner here. We're not scaling; we're just collecting the winners. But when we have enough here, and you push the gas and scale the winners, then it just shoots up like parabolic. And if you look
I love that you're very responsible in the way that you scale. That's what I really like about what you're saying. Because I find a lot of people, they are testing while they're scaling. And that's you can lose a lot of money.
Yes, you can lose everything. There's no systems in place.
That's why I'm not doing ads myself, because I can see you can lose so much money not knowing what you're doing.
You gotta have right systems for the whole thing, right? And then like if you have systems for how you make ads, you have systems for how you run ads, you have real strategy based on real world hard data that's going into your ad account, and you have systems how to take advantage of people who are clicking your ads to get the highest average order value, as much profit as possible, right? And then you give us high quality products with great product margins that people love, right? This is like, you can't lose. Make sense?
It's a good match.
But that's how I do it. And here's the secret. Like honestly, like I don't do many of these calls, and everyone who gets on a call I know is pre-qualified, because I looked at the store before we reached out and all of this. So, but I just got to get the hard numbers from you just to ensure that it does.
Yeah, because I was wondering why you were contacting me, and I thought, okay, maybe it's because I have a nice profile, I suppose. But I thought, maybe I'm too small for you, but I also know in my mind I am on the edge of wanting to scale again. And I've been like running really linear for many, many years, because I thought I'm not going there again where I'm scaling and then it crashes. And now I think it takes a lot of times. It takes time to build up a solid brand, and I always hit myself in my head thinking, why am I so slow? But I can see everyone around me that started at the same time as me. None of them are alive today.
Yeah, no one's still around, right? So you're doing something right. But when you move to the online space, like it goes fast. Right?
Yeah, and I can see that, but I can also see that I could die very quickly in that as well. So I need to work with somebody who really knows what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And who also has respect for that I might not be able to scale as fast as you would be able to.
I know. That's the first thing I said to you, right? That's why I was like, hey, what's your ceiling? Hey, we got to work with that, right? We have to stop ads at a certain level until you get the inventory, and we work very closely with our clients for that sort of stuff.
Yeah, right? And that's also why I'm asking, how patient are you? Because some people are in there to make fast bucks because you can. Because you can probably select companies that has products that are easier to scale than mine. But mine can make a bigger profit on the long term.
That's what we're after. Right? That's what we're after. Well. It's perfect.
But it depends on what your mindset is, and that's why it's important to have your right business partners. Whether you're patient.
Patience is great. This is so rare coming from the other side. Like,
Is it?
yeah, it's so rare. It's very refreshing, right? No, it's really good.
But
Okay.
I've been in here long enough to know how easy it is to burn your own company.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
And how expensive it is to have got this knowledge.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Let me show you. I'll show you one because I was going to show you two pages. I mean, I might quickly show you a landing page we've done as well, so you can see kind of what the best elements are. But I really want to show you just one site that shows how to do a very, very optimized checkout flow through. And what a checkout flow through is on your site, some people go to the site and it'll say 100 people at the cart. Okay. On a usual store, 50 of those, like 50%, will go to the next step, which is initiate checkout, and then 50% of those, which is 25 total people, will make a purchase. So from 100 initial people, 25 purchases is about standard expected. Okay, I'm going to show you a site now. This is so you know who this is, what this is. So the way I got really good in ecom really fast, I paid a lot of money for a mentor. Okay, so I paid like $20,000 for this guy, Jad Katari. And now he's just a guru. He doesn't run his stores. He actually ran the Discord server, and I started talking to him like, hey, can you teach me? And then I just went up really fast because I had that whole base knowledge and understanding of all this stuff, right? So he just filled in the blanks for me. So I'm going to show you his first winning store. And this store made him, I think he launched in either 2017 or 2018. He's not running it anymore. But in the first 3 years, it made him about $30 million at a 43% profit margin. Okay, and here it is. Safe man.
Say those numbers again.
$30 million in the first 3 years. Okay, 43% profit margin.
Nice.
But it looks like this. It looks like this. This is why I want to show it. Okay, because if you look at this site, like nothing special. It looks like a 15-year-old built it 10 years ago, right? Like this is like 2005 style art. Okay.
No, but if it matches the core customer, I mean.
It's not even that. I want to show you why. Okay. So.
Yeah.
So this is a single product store. Okay. First of all, a single product store is the most efficient funnel you can have because it's pushing people desired end behavior, which is making a purchase. Okay. So he ran ads to this page, and this was a page for this glue or wall paste or whatever. If I click on the logo, I can't go anywhere. Right? I'm here. I'm only on this page. The only thing I can click is add the cart to buy the thing. Or if I scroll down, we get to fix my walls now, which is back to add the cart. Okay? So the only interaction I can make on this site is to buy the thing. And that's the most efficient funnel because cold traffic loves to disperse. So if you give them exit points, they will take them. Right? And then you're going to lose some percentage of potential customers. Whereas if the
Yeah, because I often thought about that if you're running ads on Facebook, it would be best just to have a buy button and that's it.
Yeah, yes.
No websites,
yes.
No nothing.
Yes.
You know?
So this is the most efficient funnel possible right here, right? But you also want to control the customers. You want to own their data and all this. Like you want to have their emails, right? But here's the thing. First of all, single page landing, you can't click, you can't do anything. The only thing you can do is buy, okay? Now, this at the cart, that's the first friction point on the customer journey, okay? And here's an overarching principle that you want to apply everywhere in the funnel. Is anywhere there's a friction point, you want to have somewhere in the peripherals, elements that decrease that friction by increasing trust, okay? So right here, first friction point at the cart, what do you have underneath? Get it by August 20th if ordered within blah, 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 right? So exact date you're going to get the order. Next, 100% no risk.
That too, don't they? Yeah.
Okay, this one, 100% no risk money back guarantee, right? Trust. This one, ships from USA, trust. 9-day returns, trust. Secure payment, trust. Okay? All these trust things just serve to decrease the friction to make clicking this easier. Now, Jad stopped running this store in January because now he's, like I said, just a guru. And I think it's more profitable to be a guru than to actually deal with logistics of a store. So, what I did, really, right? I had my developer quickly make a mock-up so I could show it. Okay? So this is what happened. When you click add the cart before, you would get taken here. So you go straight to checkout. Okay? Now, look how many clicks it is. I get on this site, 1 click to add the cart, and then I go here, fill in the information, 2 clicks to complete my order. Boom, done. Okay?
Yeah.
So we went down from 3, which is usual, is add the cart, initiate checkout, and then complete order, right? And then complete purchase, down to 2. So we got rid of 30%, right? Of the steps required to actually finish a purchase. Now, very important things here. First of all, this SafeMend logo, again, not clickable, right? I can't go to the homepage. On yours, I bet my life on it and actually check before the call just to make sure, but it always is the default, right? you have your logo here, but you let people click it and you go to the homepage. But it's like, why would you give somebody an exit when they're about to make a purchase, right?
Yeah.
Don't. Okay. Now the other thing here, this doesn't make sense for your brand, but I'll talk you through it quickly. Okay, is see how we had one thing to our cart here, and this is like a little stick of glue at the cart, and then the reason this doesn't say buy now or check out now because that adds unnecessary friction, right? At the cart is fine, cool, safe. When people land here, they're okay with it, but we expect one thing in our cart. Then we're here and suddenly there's 4. We're like, what the hell? What's going on? Why are there 4 things in my cart? You're like shocked, angry, whatever, confused. So then you look closer and you see this. Complimentary Safe Men Scraper, free gift, 100% off, usually $8. I get it free. Oh, okay. Next one. Complimentary Safe Men Applicator Tip, free gift, 100% off, usually $5. I get it free. Oh, okay. Next one. Complimentary Safe Men Safe Repairs Materials Guide, free gift, 100% off, usually $10. I get it free. Oh, okay. Well, that makes me feel better, right? Mm-hmm. So what that does is very quickly takes people on a little bit of an emotional roller coaster where they come in, they expect one thing in their cart, they see 4, they're a little bit angry, pissed off, and they look closer, free gift, free gift, free gift. They end on a high, like, oh, wow, right? And the other last thing is psychological principle of reciprocity, where people are more likely to do to others what was done to them, right? So when they get free gift, free gift, free gift, they are just by default more likely to complete the purchase. Make sense?
Yeah.
Now for your,
I don't know how I can apply that to mine.
Don't. You don't need to. You don't need to.
No,
right? You're selling.
That would be difficult, but I mean, you can maybe find something, but I don't know what.
Just if you have something very, very cheap and very small, just to throw in, just to take up space over there, so you have like 2 or 3 items under it, it will help. But it's absolutely not necessary. And what I always say is that stuff.
One could maybe make a affiliate thing with somebody. You know, I could talk to maybe a stock producer, a huge stock producer, and say, listen, if I get your stocks for free or give one first pair away, maybe they will be so happy about your stocks that they will start buying your stocks.
If you can arrange that, but even like something stupid, like I don't know, like a hanger that it comes with, or like I don't know.
Yeah,
like tuxedos and stuff, they come in, I don't know what they call those zip up things, right? To keep them. If you have something like that and it doesn't cost too much, like that, right? Just anything stupid, low cost, right? Very low cost for you, okay? Because the real thing that really matters here is the fact that
you put your logo on, so they actually.
Yeah, exactly, right? That you put one thing here and then they see 4. It's just these visually having 1, 2, 3, 4 items there instead of 1. Right? And then you look closer, free gift, free gift, free gift. Because like, what's this? This is all nonsense. Like applicator tip. It's like worth as much as a plastic tip with this pen. It's not worth anything.
Don't people get upset of getting things that they don't want to have, maybe?
No, because all this stuff by default comes with the glue anyway. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's a scraper to use the glue. It came with it originally anyway. The applicator tip is also there, just a second one, right? When the first one dries out. So it comes with it anyway. Right?
Yeah.
But what I say for this is we don't implement this until a brand is like 30 to 50K a month. Because we want to build a solid foundation first, okay?
Yeah.
So this one is a little bit like a party trick, okay?
Yeah.
But here's the next. Next big friction point, this, €16 for a stick of glue, right? That's a lot of money for just literally one stick of glue. What do you see in the peripherals that reduce that friction by increasing trust? Oh, you'll love SafeMan or your money back, trust. 100% satisfaction guarantee, trust. Your order qualifies for a free gift. We've already added it to your cart above. And you're like, wow, what generous guys, right? Trust, trust, trust. Okay? So that's the overarching principle. Now, next, this is really important, these custom reviews. Okay? These make this checkout look like a fully branded store experience. Because Shopify, honest to God, this is my personal opinion. I have no hard data to back this up. Okay? But I think that Shopify is a little bit a victim of its own success. Because when you go to the checkout, every single Shopify checkout, if you don't make adjustments to it, looks the same, okay? So customers have been burned by stores like Phil's, right? So when they see the checkout, they might not know it's Shopify, but they'll be like, oh my God, another one of these stores. Like, is this real? Will this ship fast? Does it come from China? Is it super low quality, right?
I need trust pilot.
So the default checkout by Shopify, I think actually decreases conversion rate because of all the success Shopify has had as a platform for sellers. Okay, but stuff like this completely negates that. So custom reviews, because on the default, this is just empty space here, just white space that's not being used. But if you put these reviews here, here's the important part: the name, location, 5 stars visually, some text, and a picture. And the picture also doesn't matter. It's just visual representation, like it's just colors. It's an empty wall. Like this doesn't show anything, right? When I look at this, I always think this is a treadmill. This is actually a floor. Okay, but so. Same here, name, location, 5 stars, picture, and some text. name, location, 5 stars, picture, and some text. And again, the picture is an empty wall. So the picture doesn't matter, right? What matters is that when people are filling in their information here and they get down to put their credit card, right? And this is a friction point here when they're putting credit card numbers in the peripherals on the side, they see this right beside it, right? And they just quickly scan name, location, 5 stars, picture, picture, picture. Okay, they're legit reviews, right? Okay, people like this. Yeah, I'm more likely to actually buy.
Just a picture of the wall.
The pictures don't matter at all, right? Like it's.
So you don't need to have a face there.
No, not here. Like, right? Here's the other thing. Okay, you'll like this story.
Well, have you seen, how much did you check out my pages?
A little bit, because I just know it's default Shopify.
Yeah,
right?
But I mean, and you didn't check out Facebook or Instagram or anything?
I saw the Instagram.
Because on Facebook I have like 50, 40 reviews.
Yeah.
And with 5 stars, all of them.
That's good. That's good.
And I asked a year ago, I asked all of them and said, listen, can I translate this into English?
Yep.
And put your name on and use it on my Shopify or something. And
yep.
There was only like 2 of them that says, no, I don't want my name in there. I'll be happy. I mean, I withstand here on Facebook, but
yep.
I don't want it to be plastered everywhere.
Don't worry. Here's one sec.
Please send it to me in English.
I gotta cut you off, because here's the thing.
Yeah.
Always assume that e-com reviews are fake. We can write whatever we want there. They don't have to be real. We hard code that. Okay? So, like, yes, if you want to have like superb moral integrity, use real reviews there. But if you have good products, right, and those reviews just push someone over the edge who, might not have bought otherwise, but when they buy, they're going to be very happy with your products, right? I don't mind putting a review that might not exist, because it's just, it's push them towards something that's actually good for them. They'll become a customer, become a fan, all this sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're not peddling nonsense, right?
Yeah.
That's my perspective.
But I would rather, if I have the product.
If you have the reviews, then absolutely, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely,
yeah.
100%.
Because
Right? It's always stronger.
I have a high threshold for ethics, I think.
Good, that's fine.
Because I think that's where I got to. Also with the customers that I have, I need to have it.
Good. Then perfect. Then we'll use them. And you say you got
Because
50 plus.
The Queen of Denmark.
Yeah, that's something real. Yes.
An ounce of, then she's gone.
Yeah. So perfect.
Yeah.
No. So we'll use those. But here's what I want to show you, right? Like, here's your checkout. Here's what I mean. Empty, white, space, not being used. And anyone who sees this, like, okay, this is a Shopify checkout, right? And then here I can click the homepage, the logo, and go back to the homepage.
So they feel safe.
Right? With the Shopify checkout, no, they don't. This is what I think. I think they see this checkout and they think, is this going to be drop shipped? Like, is this actually high quality? Is it coming from China? Will it take 6 weeks to arrive? Because they've been burned by checkouts like this before. Versus this, right? Like, yeah, the colors are, they're just like, the colors are stupid. They're like playful, whatever. But this is branded, right? It's the Safe Man brand. It has this, it's real, right? It has customer reviews, real customer reviews, as people think.
Yeah.
Right? So this is just all the trust elements. And then the last part is this. Complete my order. That's the final friction point, right? Because they put their information in, they're hovering over, like, do I do this, do I not? And what do they see underneath? 100% no risk, money back guarantee, trust. Okay, cool, done. I'll buy. Make sense? Now, let me give you hard numbers behind this now. Because remember, usual on a store, 100 initiate checkout, 100 at the cart, 50 initiate checkout, 25 buy. That's kind of standard. On Jad's store here, he had somewhere in the 60s of people who initiate checkout to buy, okay? Which is almost 3x higher than the standard. That's why he was able to have good profit margins.
And no distractions and no procrastination.
And just clean and straight. And then he also had post-purchase upsells, obviously, right? So that's where more money comes in. But, okay, let me very quickly show you.
How did he manage to do the upsell?
It's post-purchase. What do you mean, how?
In there, if they get those 4 things for free, how does he then sell more in that process? Or it wasn't there that he was selling more?
No, right there, right after. After someone clicks buy now, right, and the card gets charged, pop-up comes up, right?
Yeah.
Says, hey, do you want another one of SafeMan for 50% off? Right? People will be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Do you want another one
I
of?
already got 4 things for free, and I thought I was going to buy these things, but I didn't.
No. The post-purchase upsell is just like, hey, do you want like for you, it'll be like, hey, we have this clearance item, right? In a very similar size to what you just ordered, like we'll say same, right? No returns though, but it's this huge discount, 50% off. But then we mark up the original price, so 50% off ends up being close to your like what you actually want to sell it for, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that's how you're going to clear the inventory, plus emails with active campaigns on emails, right? Okay, let me show you. This is a landing page that we've made, okay? Now, I understand you, like, aesthetic is going to be very important for your apparel brand. It has to look very good and clean and match the brand. This one...
And are you guys able to do that?
Pardon me?
Are your guys, your graphic designers, are you able to do that?
Yeah. Everything has to be consistent with your brand, right?
Yeah.
But I want to show you this because this is a landing page we've actually done, okay? And this has all the proper conversion optimization elements on it, okay? I'm going to talk you through them so you understand what the standard is, and then I'm going to go into specifics of how that we modify this for like apparel brands or someone like you, okay? So this is Neuro. I wish we worked with them full-time. We only got hired for their landing pages, okay? Because a year ago, they were doing $90,000 per day when we were working with them, right? So huge, enormous brand. This is their landing page. You can see that they don't require that efficiency of just purchasing, right? So I can click the logo and go to the homepage. I can go shop, about, how it works, happy customer, all this sort of stuff. The reason for that is when you're doing huge, like when you're doing any sort of volume, but when you're like them and doing huge, enormous volume, anybody who visits this page will be hit by neuro retargeting ads literally until the day they die. So they don't care if there's inefficiency, some extra by having this sort of stuff here, okay? That's one. Now, 2, this is what you have to look at. This is above the fold, okay? Above the fold is everything you see before scrolling down on desktop or mobile, same sort of thing. On a proper landing page, you want to have all the pertinent information a potential customer needs to make an informed buying decision there above the fold, okay? And this is what that is. So I'm going to walk you through each one for Neuro, and then I'll show you the rest of the page, and then I'll relate it back to your brand, okay? So number 1 is the hero image. First image, you want to have a picture of the thing you're selling, okay? Number 2, you want a picture of a human with the thing you're selling with eyes visible. They changed this to some stupid drop shipping picture. I honestly do not know why, so I'll give you another example. Here, okay, first picture of the thing you're selling. Second picture, human with the thing you're selling with eyes visible, okay, because people identify with people.
There needs to be eyes.
That's very important, right, because people identify with people and with emotions. So like this is a stupid picture. I don't know why they changed to this, okay? Other ones are just whatever makes sense. I would have one more ideally here just so to fill up this space, but like they just kind of whatever makes sense, right? It's the first 2 that actually move the needle. Picture of the thing, human with the thing with eyes visible. Next, and again for apparel brands, you don't have this, but what you want in the title is, because if I land here and I see this thing, I have no idea what it is, right, or what it does. So the title has to say what it is and what it does, right? So as soon as I read the title, I say Neuro whole body massager. Okay, now I understand what this black thing is. It's a whole body massager. And what does it do for me? Temporary muscle pain relief, just 15 minutes a day. Okay, that's the benefit I get from using it. Okay, so right away, just by reading 3 lines of the title, right away I get what this is. Okay, next underneath you want to have some word like this that's praising you, excellent, whatever. Then you want to have 4.5 visual stars out of 5. You always want 4.5. If you put 4, it looks bad. If you put 5, no matter if all your reviews are 5 looks fake. Okay? So 4.5 visual stars based on however many reviews you want to say here on Trustpilot. Like there's this Trustpilot. This actually links out, right? So if I make my screen bigger, there you can see bottom left of my screen. I can actually click on Trustpilot. When we did this for them, it was just hard-coded numbers, right? And we have the Amazon stars. So for you can say on 50 plus reviews, right? And then 4.5 visual stars. Right, excellent.
Yeah, how do you control those stars?
This is all hard coded. We can control every single element of the landing page. We just make it. Right?
Because why do people then trust the stars if it's possible for everybody to do that?
Well, I'll give you an example. You thought that it wasn't. You're asking me how I can put the stars there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
People's assumption is that you can't.
Because I know on Facebook, I had one review that was like a 1.
Yep.
And of course it took down, back then I only had 10, so it took, suddenly
Everything
one day
average,
I crashed
right?
from 5 to 4.
Yep.
I thought, what hell happened here?
Yep.
And then I went, and then I saw somebody gave me a star, so I wrote the person because I could see who it was and said, listen, I'm really sad to see you only gave me 1 star. Could you just for my own sake to learn in the future what I can do better.
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh, that was a mistake. I didn't know I did that."
So good you reached out. But
so I said to her, "Listen, it means a lot to me if you would then go and delete it
Yep.
because." She said, "Of course I'll do that."
yeah, absolutely. So it's good. So
Yeah.
people like your stuff, right? So we don't have to fake anything.
Yeah.
But here's why.
That's
Because
what I'm thinking on a homepage or somewhere else, because this is a Facebook, but
Yep.
other places, where are the stars from? And if you go to Trustpilot, because I had some calls a couple of weeks ago from a lot of customers one day and saying, "Why are you not shipping my dresses? I ordered them." And I said, "Listen, I have not sold you any dresses from my web shop." And then it turned out that somebody had actually abused my name and my phone number and my pictures, some Chinese company.
oh, they were doing dropshipping garbage. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I said, "Listen, that's not me." "Yeah, but it was so nice pictures." And I say, "Of course, my things are nice, but
Yep.
you should go on Trustpilot and test out."
Here's the thing.
you know?
Here's the thing. When you work with us, we can take down anybody who launches a store that infringes on your products. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's very important because you have the original ones, and there's actual ways to take down their stores very quickly, and they can get banned for
Okay.
life. Okay.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
do that to protect our clients.
Of
Okay.
course. But
So-
it's nice you can take care of that too.
Yep. Well, we do everything. I mean, because we're in this together ultimately at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But that's also why I'm asking, because obviously, one, I want to know how much money are you going to take?
Yep.
Because in this beginning, you're investing your time
Yep.
to build up the things, and
Yeah,
whatever
exactly.
I'm selling for, it's not going to cover anything for you. I am aware
Yep.
of that.
Yep.
But on the long term, you're going to make a lot of not passive income, but you know what I mean.
No, I know.
When-
We'll scale you, grow you, and then we'll keep scaling you. And then if you're at a good level where you're happy, let's say you're happy at 500K a month. I mean,
Yeah.
these are huge. Like, I don't want you to it's not a carrot I'm dangling in front of you, right? Just random number I made up. But 500K a month, okay, then we'll hire somebody for you to take care of all the systems we built, right?
Yeah.
And then they're
Yeah.
responsible. We screen them and make sure they're very highly trained and very highly qualified. And then one person is in charge of all the stuff, all the systems that we've built for your brand, and one person can take care of a single brand, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
and then you're not an
Yeah.
active client, but you're with us and we're talking like this, but someone else that we trained and hired is running the stuff for you. Make sense?
Yeah, because you needed somebody, and I would rather work with you consistently
Yep.
instead of having to hire a lot of other people taking over.
Yep.
Obviously, I need to know what is the exit in case I'm not happy,
Yep.
just to know where, because if I'm also going to invest time
Yeah, absolutely.
and money. So obviously, I also it's always good to know what your exit is, because you hope you will never have to use it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk about that now, because I think everything else you understand, right?
Yeah,
No.
and then that was the things I wanted to know, and then also how much what's the amount that you want me to start investing. What's my investment in this, and what is your investment?
Okay. Let me. Okay. And then everything else sounds good. You like how everything makes sense. You like us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't need to sell me anymore.
All right. Okay. Cool. Okay. So let me give you the pricing tiers that we want to get you to when it makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we'll see how we can work out now at the start.
Or we
Right.
can find out the solutions for
Yep.
that.
Yep. Exactly. Okay. So the initial engagement is always 4 months because I need 4 months to make everything work. Okay.
Yeah.
Now
That's not. Yeah.
it's not super long, right? But I mean, it is and it isn't. In the e-com
Yeah.
space, it is, but like that's why I always think in month timelines, right? Because
Yeah.
a month is
Yeah.
long enough that you can get really good numbers for you, but it's like short enough that a month passes really quickly, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, but I know I need to back it up as well.
yep.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So
There's work for me to be done as well. I know that.
okay.
4 months, yes.
Let me explain this.
Obviously.
Okay. So initial engagement 4 months. That's what I need to make everything work and click. How it works is the first month is all build. So we create all the assets, we do all the funnels, we do all the ads, we do the customer avatar reach, we do all the storyboards, we get all the raw footage, we create the finished ads from, we do the static image ads, we set up all the ads, like it's just all build. Okay?
Yeah.
And a lot
Yeah.
of time and effort goes into that. Okay?
Yeah.
Then month 2, 3, and 4 are active media buying. We're actually running ads to those systems. And it's not like we just build the system hands off, right? That's where even more activity starts because now we have real data coming in, right? And we're reacting data and all this sort of stuff. Okay? Pricing goes like this. And again, these are the standard tiers that we want to get you to where it makes sense for you to pay us that. Okay?
Yeah.
So the highest tier is for brands making over $100,000 a month. And for those, we charge $10,000 monthly plus 10% of all revenue that we bring in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you want 10,000 plus the 10%.
Yep.
Yeah.
One step down is between 50 and 100K. We do 7.5 monthly plus 15%.
Say that again. Between 15 and 100?
No, 50. 50.
50.
Yep.
50. Yeah.
We do 7.5 monthly
7.5.
retainer. Yep. Plus 15%.
15%.
Yep.
All right.
And then anybody under 50K, we do a flat $5,000 a month. I used to take a percentage. Now I don't, because I would really rather you just put that back into ads and we scale you faster past the 100K. Okay.
And how much of ads do you want? That's what we talk about. What's necessary.
Yeah. So this is the retainer.
That's a good investment as well.
Pardon
to
me?
do that. Yeah, that's a good investment to say, okay, nothing in the beginning, because you're not going to get much anyway.
No, not at the start, right? But that's why I say we need like the returns that you're seeing is going to be in month 3 and 4, right? So usually it's like the first month of media buying is going to be about break even. Okay.
Yeah.
The second month is when we're looking at, we have some winners that we can scale on 2x, something like that. Okay. And then the end of that month and the fourth month is where we can up the budget on the ad spend, you put the profits back into ads, it all scales, and you make all of it back that you put into it. You can buy retainer plus ad spend, right? That's the usual trajectory. Make sense?
Yeah. And did you have a number there for ads? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
For ad spend, if you give at least 1,000, that's comfortable for us. If we can do more, we can do more with it. So like 2, right? But I'm never going to ask for more than 2 to start off testing, right?
Yeah.
1 is comfortable. We've done as low as 500 before, but then it just slows things down way too much, right?
Yeah. Exponentially, it's too low.
Yeah. And especially when you're doing higher ticket stuff, right? You need to have a bigger budget to come, because like one sale, if it costs you $500 to get one sale, then you're quote unquote break even, but you're not, because the product cost. But that could be like your entire month budget to get one sale, and that's like the first data point you ever have.
Yeah, and the span is too small, I suppose, as well. Yeah. Yeah. And then you say, so this is only for 4 months. So you're basically saying, that's the first 4 months, and then after that, how does it change from there?
After that, it's literally, and again, because you say that the supply chain might be an issue, right? So what I might prefer to do for you, because the retainer is like this, the retainer is what it costs me to pay my team to deliver the work needed for brands at every single level, right?
Yeah.
That's why it goes up and down, right?
Yeah.
If we've talked like we had, and you say, okay, like you first need to get sales, right? But then once you get sales, you might need to stop at a certain level, order inventory. And then what's your lead time to get new inventory? Like if you place an order for 10 skirts, how long until they arrive?
Well, as it is now, when I place order for 1 skirt, the delivery time is between 4 and 8 weeks.
Okay.
And but I think it's you always want it to be 4. I know.
No, I'm going to assume 8. I'm going to assume 8. Yeah.
Usually they always want 4 to 5 months, but realistically it always runs up to 2 months. But then sometimes you can get, if you have really big bulks and some of the things that are easy to make, and there's no problem with the fabric supply and so on, sometimes you can get it quickly,
Yeah. Okay. Good. Because that's the only impediment I see to at the start, where because we'll have products that we're selling and they take off. But then we'll have to hold off on scale, maybe even just pause the ads completely before we fill back that inventory, right?
Yeah.
So then
also because investing in a big inventory and not knowing if you get rid of it, that's the risky part.
Yep.
But if you can see that there's actually customers for it, then it's less risky. It doesn't feel as bad.
Exactly, right? And you need cash flow as well. So with this, because this is a little bit of a different situation, right? Because usually like people I talk to, they have inventory already, or they can get inventory really quickly. For you, we have to first see what products are selling that you then have to order inventory for, and we have 8-week delay. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is, I'm just thinking what we can do to make it a little bit more like better for both of us for kind of long-term success and all this.
Yeah, because I can also ask this the sewing place that I have and say, listen, how many will you be able to supply every week, because the sales will be running.
Yep.
And then making it done like that. And then in the beginning, you don't earn as much in each piece because the cost price will obviously be bigger because of the volume is lower.
Yep.
But then you have the flow going.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that gives her time to get more people in. Or I know I used to work with another factory that makes bulks, and then this lady, I just want her to control the quality, because otherwise I need to hire people to check the quality.
Yep.
But then she can hire in the others and make the money in the beginning, and then later on that will buy me time to make better deals with her. So in the beginning, the money you're actually making on the pieces would be lower.
Yeah, the profits is going to be lower at the start.
The process.
Yeah.
So it's now, what do you want? Do you want to wait and then earn more money, or do we want the flow?
Yeah, we want the flow. We want the flow because the whole purpose is to get you up to a good level, and we got to keep momentum. Okay.
Yeah.
So just based on talking, I've never.
Are you charging the 10%?
For you,
above the 50K?
Yeah.
No matter what my
It's like this. So let's say you're right now. You came.
It's the purchase price.
It's the revenue price. Yes, that's what we want to get you to, right? Like, I know that if you have 80% margin, you're ordering in bulk, you can afford to pay us 10-15%, and you're happy, right? If you don't have that, and for example, at that point we have a relationship and we just sit down. We're like, hey, remember, that's what we want to get you to. Does it make sense right now? No. Okay, what does make sense? How do we? Because you have a partnership, you have a relationship. No one wants to fuck it off. We're both making money, right?
Yeah, the first year is going to be a learning year.
Yeah, exactly.
That's also I keep talking about what's your patience, because I know.
No, I have this. Let me say this. Let me say this. I really like what you're saying. So, I've never done this before. I've never thought of it even. What if we do, for example, a longer term initial engagement, like 6 months, because I think 6 months enough for you to be able to get inventory in once stuff works. And I'll reduce the retainer by 1,000, so it'll be 4K a month. You can then put that extra 1,000 into ads. I'll be covering my team for the difference whenever it is, because it's like how it really works. The first month I got to pay quite a bit more than what you're paying me, and then on the other months it kind of evens out, right? Mm-hmm. So, but if I reduce it by 1,000, so we say 4K a month, monthly retainer, we do a longer term for 6 months, right? Mm-hmm. Then it covers that 8-week delay for getting inventory in. And then I can say confidently, by the end of 6 months, everything will be working for you. And then we sit down and be like, okay, what makes sense to keep going, right?
Yeah.
And then you see that we're committed to it. And again, my costs are going to be higher than the 4K for the first month to do all the bill for you, all this sort of stuff. But that's like my commitment, right? And I understand, obviously, that you're putting money up, right? It's not free for you to work with us, right?
No.
But that's just what I'm thinking, because I really like how you're talking about long term. So, if we can do something like that, I think that might be a better deal for both of us, because then there's no time pressure for 4 months when the issue is there's an 8-week delay, right?
Yeah.
And then it accounts for that if we do a 6-month engagement.
Yeah. And then after the 6 months, then what would the deal be then after that then? We
just sit down and be like, hey, look, we got you to this, we want to get you to here. How do you want to go? What's the projection? Where do you want to scale it? Blah, blah. It's an open, normal, comfortable conversation where we're both because we're both partners at that point, right?
Yeah, because we need somehow to also put that in place, because it's investment for both of us during the initial 6 months.
Yep.
So that the deal doesn't change completely after 6 months, because maybe it's going off really well, and then of course you would like to have 15% rather than 10%,
Yeah. Oh, okay. Let me just talk about that. Okay, so those numbers that I gave you is if I'm talking to a brand right now and you're in that monthly revenue, okay? And my assumption is I have to build something new for you on TikTok if you're doing all this on Facebook, right? And we want to get you very quickly to your highest potential, right?
Yeah.
So most of our client deals are 10%, right? Once we get them over 100K. If we sit down, you're like, hey guys, do you want to do a slightly smaller retainer, but then a 15% or whatever, so you get paid more? We're like, yeah, sure. You know what I mean?
Also depending on where we are in 6 months.
Exactly.
Maybe this took off crazy, or we can see, there's some problems around this.
And if it's tight,
we need a little bit more time.
Yeah. I mean, I just want the only thing I want you to know is we've talked for 2.5 hours, right? And you're not a client, we're just first, right? And I'm the founder, so I'm very serious about making this work. Right?
Yeah.
And if we talk this long, I know that this is something we can absolutely make work, right?
Yeah.
So for me, you have that long-term commitment in full, right?
Yeah.
I just don't want to scare you off by saying, hey, let's start a 12-month engagement right from the very start, right?
No,
let's start in 24 months right from the very start, right? I'd love to, but I
Yeah.
right, we gotta like give and take. So
Yeah, yeah, you need to see results, and you also need to know if you like working with me. It goes
yeah,
both ways.
yeah. No, I do because you're like this was the most refreshing call I've ever had because
Oh, I'm happy to hear that.
yes,
Yeah,
you have such a great perspective on all of it, right?
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
usually like I tell people and they're like, oh well, like I won't even get returns first month. Well, I'm like, well, no, but this isn't for an overnight success. It's for long term fucking right real business, right?
yeah,
This isn't
yeah,
like a one trick pony. This is we're building real fucking systems for your business for your brand, right?
yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'm very happy to hear that because I've been talking to a lot of people too, and a lot of it, I want people driven and with energy, but a lot of people who has your energy as well. Some of them they're too quick, if you know what I mean. It's like, yeah, but it's not. Yes, there's a lot of
Everything has to be
templates you can
sustainable.
use,
Everything has to be.
but you still need to know exactly here. You need to slow down, and
Yep.
everywhere else you can pace up. But there's
Yep.
certain core things
Yep.
I know my company very well, but I also know I've got blind spots,
Yep.
and I want to get away from that. And I
Yep.
want to go away from where I'm not strong, and just be strong where I am.
Yep.
But I need somebody to collaborate with, but who also understands that I am still a small company,
Yeah.
and I just can't do it overnight.
100%.
But
That's
I'm
what
very
I do.
ambitious, and I really want to grow it, but I also know my limitations.
So honestly, the only limitation will be like figuring out the inventory, and
Yeah.
we figure that out together in coordination with what's working. Once we have
Yeah.
the ads running, and like that's it, right?
Yeah.
And then okay, let's say at the end of the
Also,
6
because
months.
if we can activate my internal, all that I have on stock,
Yep.
there's a lot of money there that we can even push more on
Yeah.
ads,
Yeah. Exactly. So like I'll
Yeah.
give you another example. Let's say at the end of the 6 months, we're at a point where we haven't placed a big inventory order, but then we have like all the data that you can do a 300x order of, I don't know, a blouse. And we know that's going to be your bestseller, but it'll take 3 months to arrive, right?
Yeah.
So that's why
Yeah.
then in those we sit down, like, hey, okay, what's our realistic workload for the next 3 months until that comes back, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
what are my team costs? Because I don't want to make money on the retainer. It's not make, it's not lose. It's just so I'm break even, right? So that'll be like that. And then if it's minimal work for us, I'll be like, okay, well, like it'll cost me this much for the team to maintain the stuff until all the stock arrives, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
all like I'm very like because I am fair, but I'm also aware that I'm asking for a large number, but the large number justifies itself because we're paying for a very high level team, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and this is like serious business for me. It's not like some frivolous, drop shipping little kids like 17-year-olds running drop shipping stores for I don't know like little chapsticks and trying to get rich overnight, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. 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 Because it is for me. It's very serious business, even though I'm small now. But I deliberately made myself small again because I wanted to make it solid for growing again.
yeah,
And
exactly.
that takes time
Yep.
to do it, especially when you're on your own. And I have not been willing to hire a lot of people until I knew that it makes sense.
Yep, that's perfect. No,
Yeah.
you have a very very pragmatic, like excellent approach to this stuff.
Yeah,
So
well, I'm
it's-
happy you feel that way because I've had people being very impatient with me saying, well, you should, and you're not getting anywhere unless you want to do this. And I'm like, when it feels
No,
right
you have
to
to do
invest
it
in
properly.
things,
Yeah, you have to do it
Yeah.
properly, right?
then I'm a risk taker in quotation marks.
Yeah,
then
but it's with
I'm not
it's with
scared.
intelligence, right? Right.
Yeah.
That's the most
Yeah,
important
yeah.
thing. So
Yeah. I'm just, I just want to be here tomorrow and I want to be a success. So I'm cautious with what I do and I think things over, but I also know
this
when,
is
okay,
like this is so refreshing because if you understand, like you understand how we do the media buying, right? And just with that, like I give you worst case scenario, right? The slower winners at the start, and we're just over time building up, building up, building up. We like sometimes we run ads in the first week, we have 6x ROAS, right? That's a huge number. You can immediately scale that to $100,000 months, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
not unheard of at all, right? But I'm just setting expectations kind of as realistic and as low as possible. So nothing that happens ever worse than that. And, probably 90% is going to be better than that, right?
Yeah.
And then you're happy.
Yeah.
But okay, I'm going to give you an example of one client who I am unhappy with, okay? So sometimes with the 4-month contracts, I guarantee, like contractually guarantee that you're going to have a return by the end of 4 months, or I'm going to cover all team costs to keep working. And I do that if they pay upfront. So they pay the whole 20K upfront. I will contractually guarantee that 20K plus ad spend will be returned to them in profit by the end of 4 months. Okay? We had one client who signed on like that. She took out a loan. She paid 20K, right? And then we worked with her for 4 months. And she's selling from Canada. They're like wine bottles that look like they've been hand painted by her, and they're lamps. Okay, so cool stuff. Okay, but she can mass produce them. In those 4 months, she was giving us $500 ad spend every single month. So that's like the
lowest one.
Lowest, right? And not right away, but like with like insane quickness, maybe 2-3 weeks of running ads and testing, we started getting her consistently 11x return on ad spend week over week over week. And this is outlier, right? This is an outlier case, right? 11x is huge on Facebook. It's enormous. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, great. So when the 4 months are over, right, and she's like paid off the 20K, right, 5K a month.
Yeah.
I was thinking that she would just give 5K for ad spend because she's made all that throughout, so we can scale and grow the store. And she's like, nope, Ed, we're gonna do $500 a month. And I'm like, wait, what? And she's like, yes, because your contract says you'll keep working with me until I make all of it back. And I'm like, well, yes, but like, the point is you want to grow the business, right? But she's like, nope, the contract says that, so you're gonna get $500 ad spend a month until we make it all back. And I'm like, okay, you caught me on a technicality, sure, right? But like that's not good business, right?
But this is a new situation.
This is
this is based on
This is like we're in month 2 of like doing the free work for her. But the thing is, there's not much work anymore because we've done all that we could. Like 11x is fucking unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
And she's only she's not giving us any ad spend, so the ads just run. So we're not doing anything. But like the whole point was, let's grow and scale, right?
Yeah.
And I don't.
That was her ambition. She didn't want to grow even more.
I have no idea what it is. I really don't, because it's not like she has to hand paint it. They just look hand painted, so she can mass produce them, right?
Yeah.
And she just wants to spend $500 on ads a month. So, like, that's like the only kind of like, I don't know, client horror story, quote unquote. It's not really, right? But she caught me on a technical. I never thought anyone would do this before this happened, right?
No.
I was like, hey, we're giving you winning ads. Please scale them, right? Grow the business, right?
Yeah.
At least to like 20K, 30K a month, for fuck's sake, right?
But is it because she thinks she's gonna, what do you call it, put that there will be a limit to how many she can sell, and then she just thinks, I just want a nice, stable life, and I have no ambition on being big, or what is it?
I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. I did. Well, because we were like, yo, okay, so the 4 months is over, right? And you've counted, so you're paying 5K a month, even though you paid it up front, right? And then now in month 5, you have that money that you were kind of paying us to put into ads. So we're like, okay, well, how much are we putting into ads? Like 500. I'm like, well, but we like, look, 11x, right? 11x. And she's like, no, 500. I'm like, well, okay. And then
but that means she's happy with it.
I guess, right? 11x, she's making what, like 6,000 a month, something like that. Right, so.
But if that's enough for her and that's her ambition.
I guess, but yeah, I guess.
There must be a reason for why she just doesn't want to grow.
So.
Yeah, but I think I'm more ambitious than that.
That's what I'm saying. You have a real perspective on this stuff, right? I don't think you'll come back to me and be like, hey, Ed, we're doing 500 a month, right?
That's fine. No. Yeah, because I was also thinking about contacting, the owner of DIOR, and asking him, hey, shouldn't we, don't you want to invest in me, and then I'll make a big brand, a new brand, not one, because he usually buys brands, but then I thought maybe I should go, even though I'm small, because